So, I guess to start us with the anime for today, we're
Yeah,
going to talk about Summertime Rendering.
yeah, we are
Yeah, the most recent 2 episodes, which were
a
pretty
lot.
hardcore. Yeah, they were
Yeah,
full on stuff.
yeah,
Because we left off where Ushio got killed.
yeah. Die. We weren't 100% sure they were actually gonna polish her off or not, but it seems. I mean, there's only like 3 episodes left, so fuck it. Who cares? But yeah, she's properly dead. That is surprising, considering I was 90% sure that the series was going to end with them defeating Heine, and then they're gonna be like, oh yeah, and then he used his power to turn her human again, and then they get married. But no,
Hey, there's still time.
sometimes.
There's still
Do you know
little
what I mean? Yeah,
time.
I'm now only about 40% sure that's how it's going to end.
Um,
Either that or I'll marry Mio, which I have some issues with.
there's some issues here. There's issues everywhere in this show.
True. It's a very not as bad as Sons of Anarchy, but we'll get into that later. I've been watching Sons of Anarchy, and this latest season has just been red flags from start to finish.
Okay, I know nothing of Sons of Anarchy, so
It's probably a good thing. But no, yeah. Before we get too sidetracked, fucking sometime rendering the hardcore 2 episodes. R.I.P. to my future wife, whose name I've forgotten because fuck it, she's dead now. But yeah, she was awesome, and I was very sad when that happened, and
well,
a little bit confused.
the fight was really awesome. The
The fight
first
was
the
freaking
first loop, because we watched the 2 episodes, so we saw the
yeah,
first loop and then the second loop, basically the same thing. The first loop, she kicked butt. She let her
yeah,
brother take over and not worry about her body getting wrecked, basically sacrificing herself. But
yeah.
her brother managed to create a body from the shadow goop
Which is pretty cool. Yeah,
and essentially come back to life.
possible cue to how Ushio will return.
Ushio can come back because in the second loop he didn't manage to do that
Oh yeah, crap.
because the shadows had the information and
Yeah,
well
fucked everything.
managed to kill her. Like, but that is a possible way that Ushio could come back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah.
Great fight though. Yeah, and it turns out that the reason she had her brother living in her was because he was another shadow that had been kind of imprinted into her, and that's why she was so badass because he was always 2 seconds in the future.
Yeah.
Which, like, that's a pretty awesome power. Like, yeah, I mean, it took about 60 chapters for Luffy to beat Katakuri because he had basically the same power. Like, I kind of felt they could have made her even more hardcore,
Yeah. There's a
but
character in Dragon Ball Super Hit who has the same. He can see like slightly into the future, so
he's the grey one, right?
he's like purpley. He has like a long purple coat. He's very
I
cool.
was thinking of, I think I was thinking of the guy he fights after Hit, the one that everyone was creaming their pants over.
Oh, you're talking about Jiren? Yeah,
Yeah,
they aired it almost like a real kind of like UFC fight. It was like Japan went crazy over it. Yeah, it was a big deal. I mean, it was a big epic fight. It was pretty cool. Like the whole tournament in power is pretty good. Anyway,
I mean, who doesn't have a tournament arc?
who doesn't? But yeah, sometime rendering finished up with the shadow or Heine running off again, and they're talking about the fact that Heine's just a kid and it's really the other dude that's in control. And it
Shocker.
seemed like they're getting at what happened in the very first or second episode where we saw all of the shadows go, off and whatever.
The mythical
Maybe,
third loop they keep referring to.
maybe this wasn't what Heine thinks it is and her getting sent home, whatever, and that's where all the power going. But maybe it's him killing all the other shadows to take their power or whatever, so that he's the ultimate immortal being or
Yeah,
whatever. So it's like, so now it's like them are going to be played off of each other. Is Heine going to help and them take him down? I don't know. There's
possible.
all these doors opening up.
Hmm. I was wondering if Dead Lady was going to put her brother into uh not Shinji, what do you call it? Shinichi, so that he then gains that little 2 second advantage so that he could then maybe win the next fight. But
Mm.
I don't think they did. I think as you say, they're going to end up just hugging it out, and they're going to kind of bring Heine over to their side, and then defeat the Shadow Guy some other way.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, she's been a bit of a slag for like 20 episodes. I would not be happy if they ended up, and then everyone ended up happily ever after because she wasn't bad. She was just being lied to. Like, nah, she's pretty bad. Like, she's killed a lot of people. You can't just forgive that shit.
But apparently she's an otherworldly alien thing.
Otherworldly alien murderer.
Murderer, yeah.
Murderous.
Just,
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen.
Not right.
And I feel like, and in the last episode it goes, and it was all a simulation. It's actually just Ushio in his bedroom playing a video game. Like,
I would not be happy if that was the end I went with. I
Mm.
mean, there does seem to be a lot of kind of video game flags for this, so it is possible that's what they're going to do. But or the whole thing's a frigging isekai or something, and he's going to die and wake up in his home. But yeah, I think at this point that would be a bit of a cop out. That's the kind of thing you drop like 2/3, 3/4 of the way through your series, and then you have the conclusion being like an actual conclusion. You don't just end the series on, and it was all a simulation because fuck you. That would not be. I feel like if that was how it ended, I would have seen more complaints on Twitter.
Maybe. But yeah.
Would have fucking loved to complain.
Looking forward to whatever happens next and how they wrap
I think we have
this up.
3 episodes left.
I think so.
So yeah, I think our next
Will be
show
like the
will
end,
probably be a Tripperoo Bill, Mortal Grim, and then wrap this whole bitch up.
And then, so that was sometime rendering. And then, what should we talk about next?
Mashal.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a lot to talk about in Mashal. These past 2 episodes, a bunch of people tried to punch Mash, but he punched them back harder, and that's basically it.
Well, we had, I guess the most interesting thing is we had the pair fighting. So you had the explosive dude. I'm still not at a point where I know everybody's name in the show. Explosion dude and the green and yellow hair dude who's Mash's roommate fighting the cute girl.
Yeah, she was so great.
Love.
That made
Her
me
name
laugh.
is literally Love,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
That made me laugh when she was like, I'm cute. You have to tell me I'm cute or I'll be mad. And he was like, that's so crazy. But I'm into it.
And I was sitting there
why you
waiting
like this?
to see if the green and yellow haired dude was gonna come out with some innate power that like, oh, he's actually like when he gets, to a point, he's actually quite powerful and he's gonna be super badass. But it was the red haired dude that like his thing came off and he had this hidden
Yep.
cross and he went all powerful. I was like, oh,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
cool. And then the other one's brother came in.
Yeah. The divine visionary.
But a good guy one. So, well, questionable. Yeah.
Better. Yeah.
Better. So, yeah, that was interesting. And then, yeah, because he fought Mashal as well. And then Mashal
Murder. That was pretty hardcore.
busted up all his swords.
He turned him into a chair. That was so
You
funny.
can throw some swords at me. No biggie.
Mashal. Mash. You don't care about logic, and that is how you win.
But yeah, it's a fine episode. And then Maggie's Bride. There's just a lot of shifty stuff going on still.
Yeah.
Shady.
I'm not quite clicking with this season the way I did with the first season.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same. I was like, on a rewatch,
I want to go back to my cottage core.
It's not going to be as good on a rewatch as well, I feel. There's too much like what's going on and finding it out, which is fine, but I also like to have just stuff happening.
Yeah.
So
I preferred when it was kind of magical realism. Now it's just magic, and I've seen that done too many times.
So we'll see how it goes once it kind of unfolds a bit more.
True.
But yeah, so it's all about this book now. This book that if you read it, you can die, essentially. It's bad. And I mean, Elise has read it. because he's this thing, and
He's hilarious. He can do the fuck he wants.
he's not affected by anything. And the girl with the potpourri asks
Yeah.
for some more. So
I don't trust her.
but the friendship is blossoming now. She's
It
actually
is.
was confident enough to actually go and speak to Chisei, and but yeah, still shady. She's shady. You still saw like the feet of the other one. I'm assuming it was of the girl that you hate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck her. Yeah. The blonde chick.
Yeah.
I definitely don't like her. I'm unsure on Potpourri Girl, but the other one, she can definitely get fucked. But yeah, I can't help but think that at an important point, Potpourri Girl's gonna her spine's gonna crumble, and she's gonna either run away or just side with blonde chick against Jusei. But then at the final important bit, she'll come round again because this is an anime and that's what always happens.
And then we're getting some sort of little relationship glimmer between the Gorgon guy and what's her name?
Anne.
With the black hair.
Yeah,
Her
it's something
roommate.
like that.
Yeah.
Spider Girl.
Spider Girl. Webster, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it's something like Anne or Alice.
Alice, yeah. Alice? I think it might be Alice Webster.
Or is Alice. What's the bodyguard chick with the short blonde hair? What's her name?
Oh, you're right. She might be called Alice.
Yeah.
I think this is one of the troubles with this season. It's thrown so many new characters at us, and it's just not like gelled as much. And I feel like it's not pulling from the first season enough. It's like it's whole new thing, and there's also not quite enough of like. I guess they've pulled really away from Elias. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like
It very much feels like the first season of a different show.
Yeah.
Rather than the second season of the show they established in season 1.
But the music is on point.
Yeah,
some
and it
serious
still looks great.
and serious marimbering going on with the. It was like dong 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 dong. It's like in the last episode, it was like really like dong 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 dong.
True.
It was random, but it was good.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, still sounds good, still looks great, but as you know, they've introduced a lot of characters, and most of the characters they've introduced just aren't that interesting. So it's kind of hard to give a shit about them. I just want to go back to my sort of cottagecore magical realism existence. I was enjoying that.
Random episodic, mystery. Yeah, just things. Yeah.
Awesomeness. Yeah.
And then I guess the best thing of the week or 2 weeks and of the season, really, even though it's not a proper season, it's only a special, is Ranking of Kings. Treasure Chest of Courage.
Motherfucking Kings.
So we had the week before last what I thought felt like a last episode because it was Boji opening his treasure chest and giving gifts to everybody to journey off.
Great episode.
I just assumed it was the last episode because it felt like it. And then you're like, no, there's another episode. I'm like, oh, okay. But then this episode felt to me like it had such an open ending. There's going to be another one. But you're like, no, this is it.
Yeah.
But I said, yeah, it's a good leeway into the next season. And if you hadn't watched this, they'll quickly recap it. And it won't matter if you've not watched this. Although, if you're a fan of the show, there's really no reason not to watch it because it's really good.
Awesome. Yeah, great. I'm trying to remember where we were. I'm pretty sure the last time we spoke, had I finished season 1 even?
I think you may have just finished season 1 because I remember talking about like the big boss fight.
Oh yeah, that fight was so
good. And then, but you hadn't started watching Treasure Chest, I don't think.
Okay, that makes sense. If it's 10 episodes, I usually watch one a day and skip the weekends. So yeah, that would work. Yeah. Treasure Chest of Courage was awesome. Here's one thing I really loved about that, the whole kind of season. Basically, they gave us season 1 of Ranking of Kings, which was just a really kind of taut, like tightly well-paced season of Boji going from being just like the kid to being a fucking legend in 10 episodes. But now we get Treasure Chest of Courage, and it's just all of the filler episodes that would have been in season 1, but they took that out, gave us like if you're the kind of person that just wants to watch a story episode and just skips all the filler, you can just watch season 1 and then move straight to season 2.
Yeah.
if you actually care about all the kind of the fun little interconnected bits, you can watch season 2, and it's got all the little kind of nice character development and interesting lore that you would have missed in season 1. And it's just, yeah, it's like it give you an option to kind of opt in or not. And yeah, I'm all the way in. Although one thing that I have noticed, and it wasn't really addressed, but it needs to be. Budgie's parents, big. Budgie,
Tiny.
tiny. That must have been like the easiest pregnancy ever.
Just went boop.
Like I've done poos that are bigger comparatively speaking. Like he must have just sneezed and he fell out. How did he even stay in? Like
I feel like they must have had to get like humans to help them look after the baby, because how would you like handle a baby? It's like this big, like changing like a nappy or whatever.
carries around in a hand.
This
Like
is my
there's no way
baby.
you
Like a
maybe
little
with
beam
tweezers.
with
Yeah.
tweezers. Giant tweezers. No, I think they had,
Yeah.
and then they built this kingdom, and it was quite cute to see the king actually obviously cared about her. But
Yeah.
you're still watching it like, oh my god, he went and made this stupid deal with the devil, took his boy's power, and the wife is none the wiser, and she's a badass bitch. She's amazing.
Fuck
She's
yeah.
like, yeah, it's just what a douche.
Yeah. I think I was trying to think, like, I don't think there's a single character, with the exception, obviously, of Bodgie, who I have the same opinion of at the end of season 2 as I did at the start of season 1. Like,
Right.
I've literally changed my opinions almost completely on every single character. Like, season 1, episode 1, Queen Hilling, fuck her. End of season 2, hell yeah.
Love her, yeah.
Love her. Like, the big 4, like, pretty much completely changed opinions on all 4 of them. Like, I hated Snake Guy, loved Spear Guy, liked Sword Guy, didn't really give a shit about sort of Fisty McGee. Almost completely changed around now. Like, it's crazy. That's what you call character development, man. Like, every single person has completely changed, except possibly Despa, who was just always kind of that exact balance of funny and annoying. Like, you kind of don't like him, but he's good value, so you want to keep him around. Like, he'd always be funny just to be there, but you never want to spend like a whole day with him.
No, I like all the. Oh, we finally got like So the good and most interesting thing is that Oaken is like back.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was a great episode.
Oh man, but like with King Desha, like he gave up his memories.
Yeah, but things. I watched that episode, great episode, but it gave me left me with two huge questions. One, now that Oaken is back to being human again, but apparently a human that can like
Still
casually one-shot a god, which is pretty fucking impressive. I kind of want a rematch with him and Bodgie now, just to see who would win now that he's not a freaking, shadow wrapped immortal. But at the same time, I kind of feel like Bodgie might lose that, so I don't really want it to happen, but also really do because I want to see it. Secondly, what the fuck is going on with the ranking of kings? Like that dude with the hat and the goggles and the nose. Nah, man, that dude has final villain. So many flags, man. He's a bad dude.
Well,
what is going on there?
It was what I was confused about when we saw in the first episode that showed us like the king boss back like down the creepy alley with someone went down an alley and there was the little devil child, and then he asked for the thing and that devil child turned into like the big devil, and I was like, oh, okay, that's weird. Is that what happens? And then obviously in this last episode that we like get that confirmed that they have like the one older like big devil that's obviously been trapped in that cell until it's died. And then they have the kid one that they're going to use to make another wish, and then it will stay there. But then he asks her if she's trapped, and she says no. She's free to go whenever she wants, but I guess they're looking after her, so it's better than wherever she came from. Or
yeah.
And then I'm like, is that the same little girl demon that was friends with Miranjo in that previous episode?
Nah.
No, because that
was the one that got killed.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Yeah, they are shady though.
Yeah.
But the guy with the mask is like, we're not here to hurt you or anything. Lets
Oh,
them
you
all
know.
in, and then
Yeah.
Desha, yeah, loses his memories. So instead of making a wish on the demon kid, because he's not that evil, um, he trades them something else. And then yeah, the shadow people
Yeah.
that are like, I guess, the ranking of kings panel or
Or when they were like your boy walked out and the god was there and he was like, oh yeah, he was written to leave. And the guy was like, oh, I'm gonna go inside now. Thanks for getting rid of the gods. And he was like, hell no, I can't let you do that. You know how it mentions that all the people that get to number one disappear?
yeah.
I reckon they were all the former number ones that have all lost their memories. Now they're all just bothering about in like some kind of weird care home for amnesiac kings.
Yeah, because I thought it was always like from watching season one, it's that like when the kings get ranked first, they go crazy. And it seems
Mm.
like because Desha, there was them swords. So all the other kings must have taken a sword, but that's what they said. The swords have to permanently be bathed in blood to like not have this curse or whatever.
Yeah.
So you have to keep killing people and shit. My brother's like chiming in on all this. He's like, the bit with the god was nuts. Yeah, the god, he comes out of the thing, Oaken, and there's this god king. He's like, oh, he was absolutely going to kill Oaken.
Oh, he was going to kill fucking everyone. That dude was a mental patient.
And he thinks that there was something from Elden Ring in one of the vault, in the vault, like a Easter egg.
Possible. I haven't played Elden Ring because I'm terrible at video games.
But yeah, it's all. I mean, I guess that's what the second season's going to be all
Probably,
about.
yeah.
This other, I think, the other kingdom where Boji just went to. I think it's going to be centered there. I saw like a thing online, like a character sheet of like new characters, and it had the guy that walked past Boji with the walking stick.
Oh, the blind guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it said like that's someone that he looks up to or whatever, because yeah. And then some other people like from that kingdom. So I think season 2 is going to take place in that kingdom with Boji and Kage, I guess, like forging their own path and stuff, and then also coinciding with all the ranking of kings and the vault stuff, because obviously they just found Desha. Like Boji just found Desha by like the side of the road or whatever.
But did he? I don't think he realised, because that's what he was. Oh, that guy looks like Desha, and then just like,
Yeah,
oh,
and
that
then
guy.
it was just them in the town, and I was like, why
Yeah,
didn't they
he was
stop?
like, well, everyone's got. He was like, everyone's got a double, and they much thought it was just someone that looks a lot like Desha, but isn't.
Yeah, because I was waiting for it to go back to them like approaching him and doing whatever, but no, they just left him. Well, maybe they will go and help find him.
Yeah, hopefully.
Because yeah, it's unfortunate because it's like all the brothers would be together again, but
But
now
no,
we've lost another one. Yeah, it's just not to be. Sad.
sad times.
Yeah, but yeah, looking forward to season 2. I don't know when that is. At some
Probably
point.
going to be fucking years because life is pain. One other thing that kind of came up with me. This kind of goes back to season 1, really, more than season 2. So they have their big final moment. Everyone's happy and kind. And Miranjo is saved due to the power of wishes. And then Dida is like, this is my new wife. I'm going to marry her. That shit is weird. There is no way that isn't weird, because if you view her relationship with Bosse as a romantic relationship, then he's dating his dad's ex-girlfriend.
Yes.
And that's weird. However, if, as is entirely possible, you view Miranjo's relationship with Bosse as more familial, like he was a kind of more of a paternal figure, then he's dating his sister. And that's fucked up.
It's also like how old, like Miranjo now is like an adult, like clearly an adult, right? Or at
Yeah.
least a young like 20-year-old or
Yeah.
something. I don't know. 18. She's an adult.
Yeah.
I don't
Old
know
enough to
how
know
old Dida is. He looks like a 10-year-old. But like he's
Yeah.
like at the desk and Boji comes in and he's like, I'm not a kid anymore. And I'm like, really?
Yeah,
Because you look like one. I don't know how old you are. I don't know how old Boji is. He's the older brother, but it's like impossible to actually know like We got no idea how old any of these people are. But it was weird. Like I understand that Diada had a relationship with Miranjo, like through the
Mm,
mirror, and they'd spoken for ages and ages. So they obviously like have a bond or whatever and care for each other
yeah,
before they
still
even
weird.
ever met properly. But it is weird for her to just be like, they save her, it's all good, and then he's just like, will you be my wife? And I'm just like, what, Diada? Come on, what's happening here?
He basically got catfished. He spent a long time talking to this woman that he'd never seen, just purely kind of online conversation. They grew close. He eventually met her, and she was like 3 times his age. Was like, yeah, fuck it, let's get married anyway.
Let's just get married anyway.
Yeah, it's
He's
creepy
like,
shit.
he's a busy king. He ain't got no time to find any other way.
True, true.
And and I like that we also discovered his healing power is fairly all right. Like which is always handy. Although it's always a trouble when I mean I know they're not in that kingdom anymore, so it's not going to be like every fight they have they can just be healed because Dida and Queen Healing is there because they're not there anymore. But
Mm.
it's the trouble. I found in season 1 it wasn't annoying or it didn't hold it back like having someone there that can heal.
No,
And she has to like keep having the potions and it does tire her out. It's not just like
yeah,
she can just heal people. It's like her life
she's not our
energy.
EMA.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um but yeah, no, it was a strong bonus season of
yeah,
backstories and cute tales. Uh
very
yeah,
enjoyable.
very
Definitely
enjoyable.
sort of anime of the sort of season for me.
uh yeah.
Although, yeah, Bleach Core 2 is coming back soon, so
Yes, and Jujutsu Kaisen in literally like 20 days, 19 days, something
Woo!
like that now.
Gonna be
July
good.
6th. No, that's not.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. It's gonna be
I think,
awesome.
sadly, I remember we were thinking before about how we're going to have Bleach and JJK on the same day, but we actually won't
It's not.
because of Disney Plus. I think we get JJK on like the Wednesday or Thursday, and then Bleach is on like the Friday.
Friday.
Yeah.
Did you watch the trailer for the teaser trailer for One Piece?
Yes. I literally, my friend Ari is like a One Piece. She's the reason I read the show. She's obsessed with the series, and it was like was 11 like when it was streaming on Tadam, it was like 11 o'clock at night or something. I just get type YouTube now. They're showing the trailer. YouTube now, watch it. And fine. I sat down, loaded up YouTube, and clicked and watched it. I'm just like, it looks fucking spot on. Like, I genuinely could not be any more pleased with how that trailer looks.
I think it looks good. Well, no, I think it doesn't look bad. Like it looks like the show is gonna not be bad, and
Yeah.
I think the best you can hope for, or at least like you're gonna be happy as long as the show's not bad. As long as it's not
Yeah.
terrible, you'll be like, do you know what? They gave it a shot. They did all
There's
right.
only so good a live action
Yeah,
adaptation of anime
exactly.
can be, but this looks like it's going to be as good as you can possibly expect it to be.
It's just the stretching. It's just so hard to make it look
Good.
real life, which is what you're trying to make. And it's kind of like, I don't know. I said to my brother, I was like, I feel like the only way you could make a live action anime and it's like perfect is if you make it not actually live action, but you know, like Avatar looks like real life, right?
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah.
that level of CG where it looks real life, and you make a live action CG, yeah,
Like all the live action Disneys that are actually just really good CGI.
yeah, they basically look
Yeah.
real life, but like in Toy Story, yeah, like real life level looking like stuff. So that it looks real life, so people can be like, "Oh yeah, it's totally live action," but it's not really. But you can still have all the crazy, amazing shit going on, and it doesn't look just not right with everything else that's going on.
But how familiar are you with One Piece?
I mean, know some stuff that's like happening now because my brother reads it, and I just see a lot of stuff around. Like I just saw a figurine where it's like Big Luffy with his like red arms and stuff.
Yeah,
He
that's
has
exactly
like
what I was.
gear, whatever, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Like
but his kind of his devil fruit, he has like gears for his devil. I'm not still not entirely sure why it's called kind of gear second, third, and fourth, and now we have gear fifth. But they kind of get increasingly more and more inexplicable looking. Like gear one is when he's just himself being normal. Gear second, he kind of like he goes like bright red and kind of he uses his rubber body to increase the speed at which his blood pumps to
Oh,
give
okay.
himself more power when he hits things, which I still maintain is a scientifically accurate power up. Like that is better blood flow and better oxygenation is literally how you get better at sports. But that's a
Yeah.
whole other story. So that one, they just make him look a bit red. That's fine. Get him to run on the treadmill. Sure. Then it starts to get a bit weird. Because gear third and gear fourth, like he starts like he inflates himself to make him to like a big fucking Michelin man looking dude. And then like for gear fourth, his skin goes all black because he uses haki to make himself tougher.
Mm.
And the stretching looked okay, but I don't know how they're gonna make that look good. Like
I don't think they're gonna get that far.
yeah, true.
Well, you know, this might be the most amazing live action anime ever made, and you know, 10 years from now they're still going and they're at the 1,000 episode mark. The equivalent of where the 1,000 episode is.
I mean, Netflix did say they're looking to find like a full-blown franchise they can throw their weight behind in the same way that they have with Stranger Things, but yeah, I don't think this is it. Well, I will say I think the casting is literally perfect. Like Inyaku
Zorro.
is Luffy. End of.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see. I don't think anime fans for sure. I don't know if anybody that's not an anime fan or a One Piece fan is gonna necessarily watch it. I don't think it's gonna be like a big show. Because like for Netflix to back it enough, it would need a viewership of like, you know, who would usually watch those shows like Stranger Things. If it's gonna get like a second season and a big budget, like carrying on. I don't know.
It's gonna need to be like number one in every country in the world
To be
for at
fair,
least like 3 months.
Netflix just have to pretend it's the number one on the watch list, put it on the number one, and everybody that turns on their Netflix will just watch it because that's what people do. Like, if you're being told it's the most popular and it's in the top 10, like, they could be lying. Netflix puts their own top 10 up. There might not actually be, because I go on there sometimes and it's like top movies right now, and I'm like, why? Why is that movie in the top? It's 7 years old and it's not very good. And it's just because I know some influencer watched it and then everybody else has watched it and it just becomes popular.
Thing, yeah. That was I can't remember a few. It must have been about a year back. I can't remember what it was, but there was a really random film that was suddenly like the third most watched film on Netflix for weeks. I can't remember what it was, but it was something terrible.
It's just,
And
yeah.
it made me think that they must be fucking with you, just trying to get people to watch things.
I think honestly it is, or like I say, just one person watches it, puts it on their Instagram or puts it on a TikTok, it goes viral, and then everybody watches it because they're like, oh my god, have you seen that film that everyone's watching?
Yeah.
Um,
Same reason I watched Fubar on Netflix, the Arnold Schwarzenegger comedy spy series.
oh yeah, I've not watched that.
It's all right. It's literally, it's not a TV show. It's a bundle of cliches held together by the admittedly incredibly charismatic Arnold Schwarzenegger.
There's an actual like documentary out with him, isn't
That as
there?
well, yeah.
Is
I
that
haven't watched that
on?
because I don't get much.
Is that on? What's that on?
Netflix.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Yeah, they're pushing Arnie. I don't know why, but there it is.
There it is.
That's it, and that's all. It's a line he says, "Listen to Fubar," but I forgot you haven't watched it. So
I haven't.
the joke.
No, I'm just like,
It's worth watching, but
we'll see. There's a lot of stuff
I'm
on
big
my
thing.
watch
Like,
list.
yeah, it's worth kind of putting on in the background. It's not worth paying attention to.
Right. Okay.
His daughter as well, and she's like the main character, so it's kind of annoying.
Have you watched any other anime or TV recently?
Oh, well, yeah, I've been watching Sons of Anarchy, and
Oh yeah.
my big problem with Sons of Anarchy is that basically it's about kind of a motorcycle gang in America, and they're all terrible people. And it's kind of hard to follow because the main guy, Jax, played by Charlie Hunnam, is just a dirtbag. Like, he is the worst fucking person, and bad things keep happening to him. And I'm like, yeah, good. You deserve this. You're a terrible person. You deserve to have bad things happen to you all the time. Like, plot happened, so they had to go to Ireland. While in Ireland, they ran into kind of like his dad is dead, and like they ran into kind of some old friends of his from back in day, and he runs into this girl, and it's heavily implied that she's his sister. Now, Jax's mum and the girl's mum, her name's Trinity, because Irish. They both are aware. They're both there. They're both watching this happen as Jax flirts non-stop with this girl who may or may not be his sister. And both the mothers are watching and don't say a fucking word. Obviously, they then try to bang because, as previously mentioned, Jax is a dirtbag. So they step in and like, yep, maybe you don't want to do that. And so they stop. A couple of days later, Jax is talking to Trinity. He's like, yeah, look, at the end of the day, bottom line, I've got a new sister, and that's great. And she's like, yeah, a sister you tried to sleep with. And he's like, what's wrong with that? Everything is wrong with it, you absolute dirtbag. Like, just fucking leave. Like, all kind of the sort of secondary and tertiary characters, they're all really great. There's a lot of characters on the show that I really, really like. And then there's fucking Jax Teller, who I just want to have a bad accident on his bike and die. Like, the show would be better if they wrote Jax out. But they're not going to, because he's literally the main character. And he is a dirtbag of the highest order. Like, when he first meets his sister, he's talking to her. He's like, oh, how old are you? And she's like, 22. And he looks surprised. He goes, well, I'm sorry, you look younger. And she's like, is that a problem? He's like, not really.
But
No.
you're continuing to watch this show, or this is like a continuing thing, or is
Yeah.
it done? No, you continue.
Oh, yeah, I'm about 2 episodes from finishing the 3rd of 7 seasons.
Oh my
Like,
days.
I know. On the whole, the show is all right. I just really can't stand Jax. I'm hoping he gets better, but it's been 3 seasons and he's just getting worse. So yeah, but there are a number of other characters that I really like, and I want to see what happens to them. So, like, if anything does happen to them, I might stop. But for now, tentatively, I am continuing to watch.
We're still on Dexter. It's season 6? Question mark. It's all right. It's good. Stuff's happening.
Ron Burgundy?
I'm Ron Burgundy. Yeah, I'm getting confused because when I watched it when I was a teenager, I feel like I'd watched 100%. I've watched this season, but I don't remember like any of how it started this season. In my head, the start of this season was like the end of this season / into the next season. So I've got my mind, like my season's kind of muddled in my head. I know I only watched the first episode or 2 of the next season, and then I didn't watch the rebirth or whatever it was. There was like a new season that came back.
Yeah.
So I've got to watch that. So there should be like, yeah. So I've got 3 more. The season I'm on, and then 2 more. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I don't know. Dexter's hard to like sometimes as well. I mean, obviously he's a serial killer, but he kills bad people, so it's like cool. But then sometimes he just kills people because it's like an accident, or the last couple seasons have been, or I mean, every season he gets himself involved with people, and instead of just killing these people that he knows are bad, he'll like keep hanging around them or doing stupid things, and you're like, would you do that? Why are you doing that? Like, especially after you've already got someone hurt once that you care about. Why would you continue to make poor decisions? It just makes no sense to me. And I understand that he has this need or whatever, but you know, there's only so much stupid shit you can do before I'm just like, nah, I'm out. I don't believe your character. I'm trying to think of
You
what
have
the
to
other
learn your
show.
lessons.
There's a specific show that I hate because I just don't believe all the stupid shit that the person does. I'm trying to think of what it is.
That does not narrow it down. There are so many shows I watch, and I'm just like, you are not a functioning adult. Please stop doing stupid shit just because the script tells you to.
Yeah, it's like no one would do that.
No.
There's after you've done so much stupid shit. Oh, I think the Good Girls, which season 1 I really enjoyed. It was Christina, is it Christina Henderson? I'm just making up names. You know who plays Saffron in Firefly?
Jimi Hendrix.
Hendrix, thank you.
You're most of the way there.
Yeah. It's like her and her sister and this other lady who are all friends, and they're all in really bad situations and they need money. One of them works at the local like convenience store, and she's like, "Oh, there's always money in the safe, so we'll just rob it. It's like 15 grand. That's 5 grand each or whatever, and it will help us out." And then they open the safe and it's filled with like 100,000 or loads of money, and like idiots,
Damn.
they take it. And then it
Shocker.
turns out to be that the guy who runs a convenience store was washing money for like a gang, right? So they've just stolen all this money from a gang. So then they ended up working for this gang, right? And washing money and doing shady shit for them. And the first season is really good. Kind of like they get into all stupid situations, but this is new to them. And just it's an unfortunate situation they've all found themselves in, and blah, blah, blah. And then the next, I don't know if it was 3 seasons or 4 seasons, they just keep doing stupid things. You're like, oh my god, after what happened last time, why would you do that? And they just keep putting themselves into stupid situations. And you know that there wouldn't be a TV show or an interesting TV show if they didn't do it. But at the same time, I'm getting so frustrated by it. You're not making a good TV show
Yeah.
still. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there are
100%. Yeah.
there's other things you could be doing to make an interesting TV show that isn't just having your characters do stupid shit to put them into what you think is an interesting situation. It's just, yeah. So I got really tired of that one.
Did you ever watch Ozark?
No, that's the Jason Bateman one.
Yeah, you don't need to watch Ozark. It literally sounds like the exact same TV show you just described.
Yeah, they're like,
There
they
are a few
smuggle
small
stuff,
tweaks,
right?
but
Is it
no, it's
drug?
basically Jason Bateman is an accountant and he's laundering money for the cartel,
Right.
and then his business partner is siphoning it off, and he doesn't realize.
Oh,
The cartel guy turns up, kills the partner, and is like, "It's gonna kill Bateman." And he's like, "How about if you get the money that they recover the money that his mate stole?" And he's like, "I'll launder that money for you, and if I can do it really quickly and really well, then you don't kill me." And so the first season is them. They move to the Ozarks, hence the title.
Mm.
They launder the money and they do it really quickly and really well. So yeah, so now you're gonna kill me. So yeah, great. Here's 4 times that money. Do it again. Season 2. And it's just, yeah, I mean, it sounds exactly like the show. He keeps doing the stupidest shit. And there's this like dumb girl that tries to rob him in like the first episode, and then he's like, "Hey, how about if I hire you instead?" And then over the course of 5 seasons, she just keeps fucking him over at every possible opportunity, and he keeps forgiving her and working with her again. And then she fucks him over again, and it's like, how are you that you're the dumbest smart person I've ever seen on television?
Didn't that win
So,
like loads of awards though? Because it's directed
yeah.
by Jason Bateman, or like written and directed by him, isn't it?
He does a lot of the episodes, yeah. Yeah, it's not all of them because no one's that crazy except the guy that made Mr. Robot. But yeah, he does a lot of them. But yeah, his wife in that, played by Laura Linney, is a fucking legend. Like the show would have ended in 2 seasons if she hadn't been there, consistently pulling his nuts out of the fire like a boss.
Well, Breaking Bad does a similar thing. He just makes so many stupid decisions. Like he starts to be like, oh, you know, you like him, and it's stupid decisions, and then it turns into him just making stupid decisions because he's power hungry and greedy.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, but his decisions get other people hurt more than himself, and that's what pisses you off. That's why you hate Walter White.
Yeah.
From the end of Breaking Bad.
I rewatched the show about a year ago, and it was actually quite tricky just because by like halfway through season 2, I just fucking hated Walter.
Hate him,
like, you know, Walt, you are such a dick. Like, you get a lot of slack because Bryan Cranston fucking nailed it with his performance. But if you just like take a step back and rationally observe what's going on here, you are a fucking monster and you deserve all the bad things. And I think Skylar gets way too much hate. Like, if you really watch it and kind of take your emotions out of it, there's maybe 2 things that she does that's kind of fucked up. And the rest of the time, she's just reacting to how any normal human would when their sort of spouse is being such a colossal asshat.
Yeah.
Hank for the win. Hank was the best character in the whole show.
Yeah, Hank goes from being like, oh, that guy's a bit of a dick. He just comes across, in that way because he's a cop
Yeah, bit
and
of a
that's how
dude,
they
bro.
act. Blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then come the end, you like him so much that when he dies, spoilers, when he dies, oh my god, I was just like, that episode, and it's coming, like the whole episode, and they're like digging the holes out in the desert, and you're like, oh fuck, that's gonna be his grave, like that's where he's going, and you're just like, yeah, painful. And Walter's like distraught, isn't he? He's like, it's like, this is your fault, mate. You don't get to be that upset about him getting killed when this is all your fault. Like,
What do you
and you
know? It's
could
the
have stopped
consequences
it.
of your actions.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
you could have put an end to this, and instead, because you agreed, now you're getting him killed. And he's just a
All he had
guy,
to
a
do,
cop doing his job.
yeah, all he had to do was not work with the spam face Nazi.
There's just
He's really
so many
focused.
poor decisions he makes.
True.
It's, yeah. But not even poor decisions. I'm saying, like, it starts with stupidity and a bit of, like, not sure what you're doing, dealing with this new world, and turns into him purposely making decisions that get other people hurt, like, and purposely turning into a dick, but still wanting to act like he's the victim. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Even at the very end, he acts like he's the victim when you're not the victim anymore. Like,
Not at all.
just like the last good thing he does, obviously, is saving Jesse, but he wouldn't have had to do that. Like, in a way, there's a certain point where you're like, he's changed Jesse's life for the better, and Jesse could go off and probably live a perfectly good life away from drugs and be okay. And then it just hardcore goes, fucks him up.
Yeah.
It's like,
Aaron freaking Paul, man. What an actor.
oh, he's in the new Black Mirror, or one of the episodes, I'm assuming, which I've not watched yet, but I've seen some people saying it's really good, or at least 2 or 3 of the episodes are really good.
It's kind of always that way. I was going to watch this season, and then I was looking through and realized I hadn't actually watched last season either. And I'm not 100% sure I watched the one before that. So I thought, fuck it, it's been a while. I'm just going to start at season 1, episode 1, and just watch the way through the whole thing.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, I haven't seen. I've like, as a general rule, with those kind of anthology shows, I like, of every 6, I expect 2 to be phenomenal, 2 to be average, and 2 to be shit.
Was the last
Always
season...
the way it goes down.
Was the last
Don't
season the one with the Miley Cyrus mini robot? Was that the last season?
I didn't watch last season. I don't know.
Oh, you haven't watched it. Yeah, there's like, that episode wasn't too bad. And then there was the one with Topher Grace, who plays like this billionaire head of a corporation type, head of Google type thing, basically. And the Irish fellow from Fleabag, who plays Moriarty. Is he Irish?
Oh, he's not Irish.
He's not Irish?
Andrew Scott. No, he's very, very English, I think, isn't he? Andrew
I feel
Scott?
like he's Irish in
He's
this
Irish in
episode
Fleabag.
of Black Mirror, I believe. Or maybe he's not,
Maybe
and
he
I'm just
is.
making up that he was Irish and he is English. You say he's
He's
Irish in
one of us.
Fleabag? Is that why I've got this in my head?
Can't remember.
But
He was great in that show, though.
But obviously very English as Moriarty.
Very.
Anyway, because he's really good. And it's this episode, so you got him and you got Topher Grace. That's a good episode.
Good episode.
I can't tell you what any of the other episodes were of that season.
I'm in a
remember
similar
those 2.
position with Love, Death, and Robots. Like,
Yeah.
they were like, oh, yeah, it's a new season. I'm like, yeah, great. I'm sure I'm really going to enjoy maybe 2 of them.
I'm going to love watching 4 episodes of people arrive on a planet, there's monsters, and they fight and get killed. And then 2 good episodes that are interesting and kind of out there and make you think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, of season 3, there was Jabari, the one that was just a mind fuck from beginning to end, and I
Is
still
that
have no idea what
the
happened,
water
but I fucking
siren
loved it.
one?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
that was
crazy mental, yeah.
amazing. I don't. I'm pretty sure the rest of the season was just, oh, there's a monster. Oh no, we're all dead. It
Yeah.
was variations on we're a crack military unit sent to a strange situation. Oh no, we died.
And then there's the one, yeah, with the 2 astronauts and, like, one of them becomes the planet. Is like, they, like I feel like their mind become like, they start running out of oxygen and they're just, like, wandering along this planet, but I feel like they're almost talking to the planet or the AI, or something weird happens, and then you're
I don't
like,
remember.
"I'm not sure if I'm following this, but something weird's happening." It's supposed to be very,
I think at some
I don't
point someone
know.
became a planet.
Yeah, someone became a planet, maybe?
I mean, I still maintain though that Jabari is the best episode they've ever done. Other than that, the first season was by far the best. Like as a season, the first season destroys all the others,
Mm.
but individually episodes, Jabari is where it's at. Same thing with Black Mirror. Like they haven't really beaten like the first, maybe second season, and then White Christmas is the best episode they've ever put out. And basically everything since it stopped being on Channel 4 has been a bit shit.
Like, Netflix ruins everything.
Pretty much, yeah. But they're not going to ruin One Piece. And they
You hope.
pretty much haven't ruined Sandman so far.
So far, I can only see the second season being better.
What's the thing? Like, if it follows the quality of the comics, the second season should be considerably better because they're animating one of my favorite all-time arcs. The problem is, in the first season, they had Dollhouse, which is one of my my top 3 kind of arcs are Dollhouse, Game of You, and Brief Lives. And Dollhouse was in the first season and was actually a bit shit because they kind of massacred it. Like the Preludes and Nocturnes, the first half of the season was really good, and then it kind of trailed off a bit towards the end. So I'm wondering, is that just because I judged it more harshly because I'm such a fan of the comic, or did they actually just kind of fuck it up? So I'm a bit worried they're going to fuck up a Game of You because that's going to be a rough story to adapt. Like, think sort of Return to Oz, but even freakier.
I mean, I love Return to Oz. It's one of my all-time
Then,
favorites.
then you're in for a treat. But yeah, it's
I really enjoyed the first season. I've not read any of the comics, so it's all fresh stuff to me, and it's cool, and it's dark, and it's different.
then yeah, cool, dark, and different. A Game of You. It's Return to Oz, but dark as fuck.
I'm down with that.
Yeah. The last chapter is called "I Woke Up and One of Us Was Crying."
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't. Do we know when it's coming?
Probably never. This
Never.
is Netflix. Yeah, I mean, they haven't even started casting yet. I imagine they're working on the scripts because it can't be that fucking hard. It's already written.
Yeah.
But yeah. But this is a writer's strike, so
Oh yeah.
I guess there's no work going on at the moment.
Something that is coming. I can't remember when, but I think it's soon. Is Good Omens season 2?
Yes, that's done. That's next month, middle of next month, I think.
Mm.
Apparently, Neil is a little peeved at the people at Amazon because
Okay.
he said he watched the trailer and one of the scenes in the trailer he didn't want shared. Thing is, I saw that after seeing the trailer, and I didn't want to look too deep because I didn't want to see what scene it was that he think spoiler.
Right. Yeah.
But nothing in that trailer really jumped out at me as being more information than we needed.
Well,
Yeah.
is it from a book? Good Omens.
No. Well, the first season was this season. Apparently, I don't know how truthful this is, but Sir Terry and like Terry and Neil wrote the first book together. Apparently, they had rough outlines for a second and third book, but the time was never right for them to read it, for them to write it.
Right.
And there's going to be a season 2 and season 3 of Good Omens loosely based on those outlines. But yeah, I don't know, it just seems a little convenient to me. Oh yeah, we did this book like 25 fucking years ago, and we had ample time to write more, but didn't. And then suddenly the TV show got super popular and people were really asking for a sequel. So I just found this manuscript that never got published that I'm going to turn into a season 2 and probably a season 3.
I found the show to be okay. I wasn't like wowed by it, and I like both lead actors. Yeah, it was okay. I found some of the accents a bit jarring. Is the main lady in it? I don't know if it was.
I don't know.
Was she American trying to
Oh,
be English, or it
yeah.
was the other way around? And I found that quite jarring. I don't know.
I was a little bit put off whenever Jack Whitehall was on screen.
Oh, and yeah.
Sorry, you're Jack Whitehall. You can answer to a different name all you fucking want. We all know you're Jack Whitehall. You're a passable comic. You're a terrible fucking actor.
It is a thing with Jack Whitehall that he's not so big of a name, and I don't think he has so big of a following that you would put him in a thing hoping to get more fans. So it could have literally been anyone.
Yeah.
Like literally anybody.
It very much, to me, felt like my comedy career is kind of trailing off. I'm going to try and break into acting. But it didn't work because I'm a terrible actor. And a passable comic.
Yeah, it's difficult. He seems like an alright guy, but it is it is the one level acting, isn't it? Like it's like, oh, unfortunately, everything is the same.
It's like Wish.com, Hugh Grant. Like, oh, I'm so English and bumbling. Woe is me. Somehow I got a girl that's like 10 steps out of my league.
People love.
I can totally believe that, angels and demons exist and the 4 horsemen are there and the Antichrist lives in Surrey or wherever it was. I can't conceive of a world where Jack Whitehall ends up with Adria Arjona. I'm sorry. You can only stretch the suspension of disbelief so far.
Far too, it's way too far-fetched to believe that. That's funny. But yeah, I mean, I'll watch it. I'll probably watch it.
For sure. The same friend that's obsessed with Game of Thrones, One Piece is obsessed with Good Omens. And I don't think she would let me skip it because you need someone to talk to about it.
You have to watch it so that I can talk to you about it.
So it's the reason she got me reading One Piece, because she wanted someone to talk to about it.
Yeah, I made a new friend today who's a friend of a friend, and he's trying to get our mutual friend into Dragon Ball. I'm like, it's not going to happen. I was like, she's been to my house. She's been surrounded by anime and has not watched any of it.
She's not an anime fan at all, and he's trying to get her to start watching Dragon Ball.
I said to her, like, you could just try and watch Dragon Ball Super, and I'll give you the notes of what happened before that. But I don't think anybody right now getting into anime is going to sit and want to watch Dragon Ball. Like, even
there are
Dragon
so
Ball
many.
Z is really long. Like, it's just so slow. Even the abridged version, you're looking at like 15 episodes just for someone to fire the first hit in a fight. It's just like, even like the Boo saga is long. It drags. It really drags. It's like,
it really does.
I'm like, oh my god, why is this still going? How are we still going? But whereas Super is like much quicker.
Not finished. Oh my god, it's not even fucking started yet.
Yeah, Super's much quicker. I feel like the Goku Black Arc goes on a bit because it's a lot like back and forwards. Like they go to fight him and then they don't win, so they come back, and then they train a bit, and then they go to fight him again and they don't win, so they come back. The other bit's all like just tournaments and stuff, so it's quite changes it up and it's a bit more interesting. Like you have the Frieza return as well at the start. It's more interesting, more colourful, cleaner animation. I feel like if you're starting now, just start with that and just have someone give you the like notes on what's happened before all of this and who these people are.
It it just feels like if you're trying to get someone to start watching anime, Dragon Ball, any kind, is not the show to start them on.
Like someone who's never
Not
watched anime
today.
before, it's
Yeah.
like you want something easy. You want My Hero Academia.
Nah.
Like
Yeah.
it's
It's not
easy. If you're into like superheroes, like most people are, and you just
true.
want to watch
True.
anime, it's like, yeah, just watch that. It's easy going. The first season's short and kind of gets to the point. There's nothing like long or annoying about it.
I'm just saying, we want to get someone, make sure someone sees what the best of what anime can be. I've got 4 words for you: Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Good.
It's just, it's a great fucking show.
It's fantastic, but it is a little
Clean
bit
fucking
weird.
animation.
Like, is it too weird for some people? I feel like no.
Well, yeah, probably.
It's on that line. I feel.
But I think that's why it's just, that's why I say it's, that's why it's a solid place to start people, because like, yeah, okay, this is like the middle ground. There's quite a bit that's not as weird as this, but there's also a lot that's way fucking
Way
weirder.
weirder.
This is like the middle, like this is a good divining line. Okay, that's Fullmetal Alchemist. It's a cracking fucking show. Yeah, great characters, great action, great animation, great ending. It's there. Do you want to see something that's a bit weirder? Do you think a bit more normal? Okay, then maybe go for this one. And just give him fucking FLCL just to see what happens.
Feel like what else would I? Well, this new friend guy, I was like, he said he watches One Punch and he watched Dragon Ball Z and whatever, and he's watched My Hero Academia. I was like, well, have you watched Jujutsu Kaisen? He's like, no. I was like, well, go do it.
Ah,
I was like,
get
watch
started,
season
boy.
1 right now. Season 2's about to drop next month.
Got a movie with some filler.
Yeah,
Beautiful stuff.
so good.
Great fucking show. Oh my.
Again, though, it's hard to judge whether people think things are weird, like too out there. It's not necessarily dark, but it's quite. I don't know. But I feel like Jujutsu Kaisen is just cool enough that you can get into it.
Yeah.
Um,
I think conceptually there is a lot about JJK that's quite weird. But in execution, they make, because of the way it kind of, they scientifically break all the shit down,
yeah,
you kind of, it's palatable. It's not too out there. Later on, things get a bit, so it starts to get, by that point, they'll be so caught up with the characters and the stuff that they'll be fine. I think it shouldn't be too weird to most people.
mm.
Especially
As
if you like, if you've done like One Punch and stuff, it's way less weird than that.
so, as we're talking about Jujutsu Kaisen, should we head into manga? And we can discuss
Yeah.
manga for a bit, and then do our Into the Spiderverse chat.
Shit, yeah.
Let's get My Hero Academia out of the way.
Yeah. I can't lie. I was like, all right, My Hero Academia. Let's open the chapter up. It's 9 pages. Fuck. 9 fucking pages. See you in 2 weeks for 7 more. Fuck.
Yeah.
Nothing fucking happened, man. Again, the art was amazing. Props to Koshi. You're making these chapters look fantastic. Problem is, there's fuck all else to them.
Yeah, back to the twices with Toga. And then the very last page was like basically letting us know that, oh no, now the dam has broke with the cat lady. And it's kind
We're all
of
fucked.
trying to map out where all the twices are to where like Todorokis are. Because it's like, oh, the dam's broke. Basically, all of these thousands and thousands of twices are going to spread out to these people that are not in a good way right now. They're like literally all on the, like, Ida and, yeah, Shoto, like on the floor, practically dead.
About to get twiced.
Yeah, about to get
Twice all over the shop.
as dead.
Not great.
But it's going to be fine because Uravity is going to take her down.
Yeah. somehow with the power of love.
That's going to take about 7 chapters. And then
Funny you should say that. Apparently, according to Reddit,
oh,
who we
really?
know never lie about anything, there was some still from a magazine, like an advert from a magazine in Japan, where apparently they're hyping up the big final battle, Deku versus Shigaraki, that apparently is going to start in August.
Okay, so we're in.
Yeah.
So the next chapter is going to be start of July or in very end of this month, right? And
I think
then there'll
start of
be,
July.
and then even if they have a chapter a week for July, we're talking like 4 chapters
Yeah.
until we get back to the Shigaraki fight.
Yeah. So I think we're going to have 3, maybe 4 chapters of the power of love saving Toga. And then, yeah, we've got sort of 2 or 3 months of Shigaraki, and then it's all over.
End fight. Still need to know what's happening with Bakugo. Still need to know what's happening with Kirigori.
All Might.
And still need to know what's happening with All Might and All for One. But
And
that
Kirish
can
still
literally
needs to
just
fucking
be
do anything.
within the fight of Deku and Shigaraki. Just, little pages thrown in of where they are. I don't know. You okay?
Yeah, I thought I saw some blue flashing behind me, but I think it's just shadows or some bullshit.
Shadows. Blue flashing shadows.
Ushia's come to get me.
There's yeah, I don't know. Heroes what it is right now, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah, that's what we're looking forward to is getting back to that main fight.
It's fine. It'll be fine.
It'll be
for like a month,
fine.
and then it'll be over, and we'll all be sad. Yeah, I have a feeling this may be one that ends up being saved in the anime, like Bleach.
This will be what?
I think this show is going to be saved in the anime, like they're doing with Bleach. I think the end of the manga is going to be rushed and a bit sloppy, but then they're going to
Right.
add some scenes and fill it out a bit and fix it in the anime.
Well, they're gonna have to because, like I said to you, they're doing. They released a little poster for
Yeah,
they're working on season 7 already, and I'm like, if they're working on season 7 already, they've got to have it all mapped out where they're going up to, which means, like, I think it's gonna take, like I said to you, they'll probably take it up to Bakugo dying, so it's
yeah,
like a good cliffhangery place to leave it, and then season
yeah.
8 will pick up from there because it'll pick up from Deku actually going ape shit. It will be. It starts. Deku arrives, goes ape shit, pushes Shiggy out of the thingy. Thingy arrives, Gentle arrives, holding it up, all of that shit going
Yeah.
on. Pull over to the Shoto fight. Then that'll probably be like midway point, and then the second half of season 8 will be back to the Shigaraki Deku fight.
Yeah, I could do that. Yeah.
That's how it's going to play out. So yeah, definitely going to get eight seasons of 8 seasons of My Hero, which 8 seasons is a good length.
Yeah.
But we did
That's what
get at least 2 half arcs that were just like garbage in between. Well, there's like a couple at least like half arcs that you can just totally miss if you were to rewatch it again because they're just kind of a bit tedious, like the Class B battles. Even
couple of recap episodes.
the villain arc from season 6 or whatever. Sorry, was it season 5? The second half of season 5 that was supposed to be the most badass villain arc ever, and they just kind of like totally fluffed
Ruined
it.
it. Yeah.
Ruined it. I wanted a heavy metal villain opening. I
That
wanted
would
it to like
be
totally
sick.
take over, and they just didn't.
No.
But moving on,
Yup.
to what was an absolute banging last 2 chapters of
Ah,
JJK.
fuck. That is how it's done.
Yes.
Yes, the art was sketchy as fuck, but no one cares because the fight was the tits.
Yeah, I think we discussed the fight, the start of the Gojo Sukuna fight with throwing buildings at each other. That's where we left off. Yeah.
Yeah, and the whole this is being broadcast live. Damn it.
Yeah. And then the last chapter was basically all of the side characters that are in the rest of the group that are in there just discussing. I wonder what would happen like if they opened their domains, and they were like, no, they wouldn't do that. Blah 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 blah. It's not a good idea. Neither of them know whose domain would win, and this person's domain is blah blah blah. And they're all going through it, and
Science.
then they just go. They just do it. They open their
Because of
domains.
course they did.
um, Only Gojo wasn't in luck because his was not holding Sukuna's. It was like breaking through his domain right to like the
Yeah.
outside. And Gojo got hit with Sukuna's guaranteed
One hit.
hit.
Yeah.
And yeah, just the last page was just his
So
neck
good.
slit like this, blood, and his face like this. And you're just like, okay, so now we need to wait and find out whether Gojo's dead. So that was us for a week. Just
Yep.
wait.
Thankfully, it was just the 1 week.
1 week, yeah.
No, that My Hero 2-week shit.
But this chapter showed us that he was not dead. Not from that hit, anyway. He's using his like reverse curse technique to heal himself. But Sukuna is still like hitting him. He's like slashed all over. He's starting to look like Maki, right? Like
they're gonna meet up afterwards and compare scars.
But he manages to turn it around, kind of. Because what they don't realize is that whilst he basically allows himself to get hit for a while, not using his and instead of using his reverse curse technique to heal himself, he uses it to regenerate his cursed power, cursed energy, and then he jumps on Sukuna, gives him a nice little hug, nice little grapple, and just reds him right in the face.
And through that, I think as they go on, they were kind of postulating that the shrine in the middle of his domain might actually be more important than it seemed. It might not just be there because it looks fucking rad.
Yeah.
It may actually be quite important to his whole domain. And they're like, but how could Gojo know that? The answer is because he's fucking Gojo.
Yes.
Don't question him. And so he pops him in the face, goes right through the dude's head, and smashes up the shrine behind him. And then that's where it fucking ends, because of course it does.
Yeah, Sukuna kind of like...
Only a week to wait.
In very tiny, if you zoom in, you can just see his body like against the shrine like this. And then it shows you like him. Yeah, like if you zoom in on the one where he shoots, you can see him just very tiny, his body hitting the shrine. And then the next cell is like him actually like sitting with his eye all busted.
Get wrecked.
Get wrecked. And then Gojo's just like, yeah.
I mean, we all know that's not the end of it, though. There's going to be at least one more chapter of just ridiculous fighting, because. So I think the bets are still off. I'm still going with that. Will drop both their domains. They'll go back to just fucking thrashing at each other. Gojo will be on the verge of winning. Like, oh, by the way, like Megumi, I could probably save you, but I don't want to because I'm Gojo. Boosh! And then Yuji's going to step in and stop him, because he's not as much of a dick as Gojo. He can't just give up Megumi like he can.
It is crazy when literally the fate of the world is hanging in the balance. I get that they're the two big dogs and they want to fight each other and see who's stronger. But if the whole gang had just gone in all together, like Sukuna wouldn't stand a chance, no?
I mean, you have to wonder if they would actually have made any difference in that fight. Like, maybe Yuji, because he's got plot armor. Like, what the fuck is like Nobara or Maki gonna do against Sukuna? Fuck all. They would have been like, yeah, domain expansion. You're all dead, man. Fuck. What are you gonna do against his one shot? You haven't got reverse curse technique like Gojo. You got fuck all. You got two more scars.
None of them have gone to help with the Kenjaku situation either. Only the old guitar dude and the other lady. Guitar dude.
When I was watching season 1, I completely forgot what his power was, and then it gets to that fight just before the kind of Shinjuku incident, and he just drops the guitar like a hardcore bard. I was like, I forgot you are just such a weird old bastard. It's so good.
In the manga, does he have like an old looty looking?
No, I'm pretty sure he's got a flying V.
Because in the anime, yeah, he's got the flying V, but I feel like I saw a cell online of him, and it was like I don't know the name of the instrument, but like a traditional instrument. And I was like,
Huh.
did they just somehow in the anime go, do you know what? Let's just give him an electric guitar. It's way more cool.
Yeah, it fits.
It fits.
I'd have to go back and check, but I
Yeah,
don't know. I think the flying V just looked so cool that if it was a lute originally, or like some kind of banjo or some shit,
they made a
I'm
wise
totally
choice.
fine with them changing it to a fucking a proper guitar.
Mm. Yeah, no, it's good. Uh, so we're gonna have to, yeah, I guess we'll get a chapter or whatever, finish up the Gojo Sukuna, whatever the outcome is, and we're all gonna be shocked and like, oh god, and then it'll go back to the Kenjaku and whatever they're getting up to,
Yeah,
and then
probably
the other people will have to go and help and join the
someone.
fight. They've got to do something, right? It would
Yeah.
feel weird if like it just ends like, oh, we just didn't watch the whole thing. It's fine. Everything's okay. We have nothing else to do.
Gojo's got it. We're all good.
We're good.
Like, Yuji just sits out of the last fight of his own fucking series.
It is funny, like when you look at the main characters of this thing, because obviously when the manga started, it's Zero, so Yuta is the main character, and Gojo and the other students, so the the side characters or the rest of the core cast. But when they did and then it goes into the Yuji story. Obviously, with the anime, they were like, well, that's probably going to be best to start there. Yeah, that makes more sense. I feel like it is a much better place to start. That has a whole season's worth. Yuji is the one that's like got the Sukuna power. This is perfect. Then obviously our next season is going to take us to the backstory, even before, which comes before the Zero, and then we're going to be pulled back. And even in like I don't know. Yuji doesn't play a massive part. He's not going to play a massive part in the whole of the next season because even in the Shibuya act, like it's going to be. I don't know. We're going to get the really cool fight with him and Choso, and you're going to get obviously the super cool bit when Sukuna takes over him.
Be sick.
Yeah, and that's it. It does focus a lot. I think there's little fights with him when Nanami is fighting. They're
Yeah.
there, aren't they? The kids are there because he's basically saving them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to remember, don't they him and Choso they have their fight, but then that obviously doesn't end
He
with
goes
one of them
out
on the floor.
and
Don't
Yuta
they, don't
kills
they
him.
then tag team Minami? Not Minami. What's he called? The puppet guy, the one that's caused all the problems in fucking season one.
The puppet guy, not
No,
the.
forget the puppet guy. The guy that's the body modder guy.
Oh, the guy that I've forgotten existed, the patchwork
Yeah,
guy, whose name
yeah.
is. Oh, I
Don't
know
hit.
his
Don't,
name because he's
yeah,
not been in it for so long. I've just forgotten that he existed because
but
he
don't.
was the bad guy, wasn't it? In like
Yeah,
season one, he is like the bad guy,
yeah.
and they're all working for who is Kenjaku now, but at the time you just think that it's like Geto Suguru, but oh my god, Mojito.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I totally forgot that he's totally there.
Because don't Yuji and Chizori fight him?
Honestly,
Just like,
I can't remember now.
I think they do.
He's been erased from my memory.
So yeah, it feels like we get Yuji versus Choso, but then the whole kind of their connection comes out, and so they kind
Right?
of team up.
Because doesn't Kenjaku kill? He's the one that ends up killing Mojito.
Yeah,
Takes his power, doesn't he?
yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be so. I'm so interested in seeing Suguru's story and seeing how gross it is that what he has to do is compress curses and eat them. It's
It's,
just.
it's it's
It's,
gonna look rough when it's animated, and I
if,
can't wait.
if there's something to drive you to insanity, it's that. He's a great character.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be. Like, I think that flashback arc is gonna be
Gonna
a
open
popular
everybody's
one.
eyes. Because after watching Zero, and I'm like, how does a dude get from there to there?
Yeah, And now we know.
And now we know.
Grimness.
Grimness. Anyway, that's is there any other manga that you've read that you need to talk about?
Actually, yeah, this new one called Do Retry. That's a very, very bad name. It's a boxing manga
Right.
set in Japan at the end of the Second World War. It's a young orphan who needs money because his sister is ill, and
Okay.
his dad was a boxer, and so he watched a lot of boxing, and then he gets pulled into like underground boxing matches. And it's only like 5 chapters or some shit, but so far it's like I think 6 pretty strong chapters.
Hmm.
And the main guy's like his power is just that there's no giving him. Like he gets the shit kicked out of him every chapter. And it kind of the first 6 chapters are building towards his first kind of professional fight, and he gets in the ring and just gets absolutely fucking thrashed for like 3 chapters. But dude just keeps getting back up. I like it. Yeah, refuses to give up. It's my favorite kind of character. Very much looking for that. Also reading one called Nui's Exorcist, which is terrible, but it just reads like Wish.com Bleach, so I'm kind of enjoying it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the most generic shit I've seen, but it's kind of just interesting enough, and the artwork is just good enough that that's still worth paying attention to. Same thing with Jiangxi X. Like, there's nothing particularly original about it, but it's just interesting enough that I keep reading it.
Hmm.
But something big is gonna have to happen soon. I'm just gonna get bored and stop. I'm reading a lot of fucking manga at the moment because it's all free on the app. Why would you not?
Hmm.
But I don't think I'm going to be seeing a lot of these series through to the end. Like fucking Black Clover is still going on, and it's just this last arc has been so dumb. It's like, why did you not finish it like 50 chapters ago? It's so stupid now. But I keep reading it because I'm like 300 chapters in, so fuck it, I've got to see how it ends. No, and terribly. What can you fucking do?
I still need to read One Punch Man. I just
I feel like it's been quite a while since there's a new chapter of that.
well, I mean, I've got to do everything from what is the end of season 2.
You got some good shit to read
I've
then.
got some good stuff to read. We get to the point where there's spoilers everywhere now on the internet. Like, if you want to look up anything One Punch Man, it takes you straight to like current Garo stuff, and I'm like, whoa, I don't need to see this. I can't
You
see
really need
this.
to see that. It's fucking cool. The Garo arc was badass, man. So good. You gotta read it. So good.
That's my main thing to read. I just forget about it every time I think about it. But yeah. I suppose we can talk about Spider-Man.
Fucking Spiderverse by our one viewer who hasn't seen Spiderverse.
um yeah, I went to see it in the IMAX. Like the day, I think it was literally like the day it came out or the day after, because we were just like, we hadn't planned. We were just like, let's go. Bye, Rob. Sorry, you can't join us. Not that you was pitching
Your
in
fault
much
for
for
not
the
watching the
last
film.
however long, but yeah, we will go see this film again. Sorry. Um, yeah, it was good. Enjoyed it overall. The sound was bad. The sound mix, again, we was in the IMAX. The opening kind of Gwen monologue intro, which was quite long, and some of the stuff during the big fights, just couldn't hear it. Like the dialogue kind of like muffled underneath the action and the music, and I'm like, why would you choose to have the music louder than the voices? This is just stupid. And I was like wondering if it was just an IMAX thing or if it was all of the filmings, the copies, I don't
Showing.
know, showings. Thank you. And then I saw about a week later a post saying that they've made yeah, they're sending out a new version because of complaints about the audio mixing. And I was like, great, it wasn't just me or our cinema, it was the movie itself. Because, yeah, it did. So I don't know, I'm assuming that yours sounded fine because you saw it
It
more
did.
recently.
I did.
So you didn't have any issues. You heard everything she said at the start of the movie because I did not.
Yeah, I was like, I went to see it kind of. I don't know if it's just because I was expecting the sound to be shit, so I was like really paying attention. But yeah, no, I had no problems hearing her opening monologue.
Yeah, I just missed some stuff. Yeah, I guess I'll start with with bad things. Like you're thinking, what bad things? There weren't any bad things, Laura. You're mad.
A little bit, yeah. Like I like my one kind of main complaint is that it was a little anticlimactic because it's so obviously part one of a two-part film
Yeah,
that it just sort of ends. There's no like the only I know it's a bit silly to make the comparison. We kind of have to. The big, the elephant in the room, comparing it to Infinity War and Endgame, because that's the previous big Marvel two-parter. That was a two-parter,
but it
but
ended.
there's a very definite climate. There's the Battle of Wakanda, and fucking Thanos wins. Ending.
Yeah.
Great fucking ending. Jumped across the Spider-Verse. It just sort of ends. Like, I'm watching it and it gets to this bit and he's kind of doing his thing. And I'm like, they're going to end it now, aren't they?
Yeah.
What a bag of dicks. And then the fucking credits rolled.
I knew that it ended in a random place. Not random, but I knew that it was just going to end because my brother had said it to me. He's like,
Yeah.
it's a two-parter, right? It just like ends, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, like whatever. So as we were getting to that final scene, I was like, oh, this is going to be the final scene. I was like, this is it. This is where it's going to end. And like all of these Spider-Men that were in the first one have just gathered. I feel like, oh, they can afford all of their voices. They gotta wait till the next movie because they went so big on this one. Like now they're bringing in all these other characters. They had to keep their budget a little bit lower. Um, but yeah, just as a whole, the movie for me didn't feel much. It wasn't a kids' film enough.
No, not
There
at all.
was a lot of conversations, particularly between him and his parents, that were generally the same conversation about 4 times throughout the movie. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
The office scene at the school, they all just felt a bit too long. The conversations were just a bit like, not necessarily boring, but like I say, all about the same kind of thing. Not necessarily having to be there. And from a kid's viewer point of view, is a kid going to get bored with all this stuff? Is it too much? And on the rewatch value, is it going to be too much? Is compared to the first movie as well.
It's
Yeah,
worth noting I watched the first film the day before I went to see the second film, and the first film is still an absolute fucking banger.
yeah,
The rewatch value on Into the Spider-Verse is sky. I hadn't thought about it, but actually, yeah, do you know what? I'm thinking back, I am a little unsure what the rewatch value will be like on Across the Spider-Verse. I want to wait until I've seen Beyond the Spider-Verse. So I have a feeling it'll be one of those things, much like with Endgame, like you need to see the whole film before you know if you want to rewatch it.
yeah. Well, I'm gonna go see it again with my brother. Um, so I'll let
Hopefully
you
he'll watch
know
it
what it's
afterwards.
like on like a second rewatch in cinema.
Thank you. Good to know.
Um, but yeah, so there was that, and then what else was it? Oh, too many upside down things. We get it. You can walk on ceilings. It's pretty when it's like it inverses the camera and you have the skyline. But like after 4 times of like, oh, look at us, we're standing on the ceiling, it just bugged me. Which is like a real nitpicky thing. But also,
Little bit.
just again, as a kids' film, speaking purely as like, this is a kids' film. Yes, it's for adults as well. But you're targeting it at kids and adults. You need to get that mix right.
Yeah.
a lot of scenes. It's just like open space. Yes, very very pretty. The artwork's amazing, but just a lot of nothing happening. Could have been shorter, but also you needed to stretch it out because you know that you can't fit whatever's going to be in the second part in this one. Would it have been too, it would have been too long, or you didn't have the budget to be able to, like I say, you've got all these extra voice artists and people that you need to bring in to, like, if you'd done that in one movie, it just wouldn't have been feasible. So it'd be interesting to see the next part and see how much happens and whether you think, hey, you could have just probably put that. It's going to be like one big end fight. You could have just put that in. Well, it's not one big end fight because you got him and his uncle, right? You got that whole thing happening. And then obviously you've got Spot and you've got the Spider-Man dude, vampire, bad person whose name I never know.
Miguel.
So it's kind of like three things, I guess, that need to be wrapped up because he's obviously shady and not a very nice guy. And okay,
I'm just putting this out there. My hot take that apparently actually is lukewarm at best. Miguel did nothing wrong.
I mean, he did destroy an entire universe. It wasn't. He didn't know. I mean.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he is rating us Miles, right, for something that he's done, and it's like, yeah, you've done it, so you know better. You're trying to stop him from doing the same, but it's still questionable. It's like, what gives you the right? You've pulled him into this situation, or things have happened, and he's been pulled into this situation. Miles is trying to make the best of it, and save everybody, and you're telling him he can't. Like, what? You're trying to write his story, and he should be able to write his story.
That's one of the things I really enjoyed about this film. Miles is very much the protagonist. We see the whole film from his viewpoint. And from his viewpoint, Miguel is very much the antagonist. He is the counterpoint to Miles. But if you really take a step back and look at it, Miles is the villain of the story and Miguel is the hero. Miguel is literally just trying to save the multiverse from collapse.
Yeah.
And Miles is not. Miles is still very much thinking personally. He is focused on his story, ironically enough. So he's trying to save his dad because of course he fucking is. Even if that potentially means the destruction of his entire universe. It's almost as if with great power comes great responsibility.
Because he never had that. He's not lost his parents. That's what they're all talking. They're like, but it is that. They're all like around him and they're like, oh, we've all experienced loss. And it's almost like, Miles, you've not been invited to the Spider-Man club because your life's perfect. And it's
because
like,
he's not meant to be a Spider-Man. He was never meant to be. He is an anomaly.
Yeah, but that's not his fault.
Not at all.
It's not his fault that he got bit by that spider.
But that's the thing that I think is going to end up saving the day. And what I was sitting there in the cinema like, Miles, pay attention, dude. Come on. There is one fucking thing you could say that could fucking fix all of this, but you're not saying it because if you did, it would end the film. And not only would it end this film, it would end the fucking Beyond as well. So you can't say it. But the whole thing is about the idea of canon and events, which, by the way, on a conceptual level, big fan of. Love the concept of kind of canon and events and how there are some things that have to happen, like fixed points in Doctor Who. I love the way they've tied it in with the fact that so many of the Spider characters in Marvel have those same fucking story beats. It's like, oh, it's not just because you don't have the imagination to come up with new stories. It's a thing. It's a canon event. It has to happen. Hilarious. But like, yeah, your canon event, you're the police chief you're close to has to die. It's like, well, no, because you've already said I was never meant to be a spider. My story is unwritten. I am not Spider. Yeah, I'm not Spider-Man. Yeah. I'm not Peter Parker. I'm not Penny Parker. Not Gwen Stacy. I'm Miles fucking Morales. I am the only one that is me. I am the anomaly. Which means my story doesn't necessarily have to follow that path. I've been living as an anomaly in my version of New York for over a year now. And guess what? It's not collapsed. Like, maybe my story gets to be different. And I think that's the realization. That's how they're going to kind of resolve all this shit in the end. but it just kind of feels like they could have set out at the start and saved themselves quite a bit
Then
of
you
time.
wouldn't have a movie. 2 movies. But yeah.
Would, but it would be a very different movie. It would just be them versus Spot, which, to be fair, dude went from like Monster of the Week repeatedly, as he was told, to actually pretty fucking terrifying at the end there. When he went like full Void God, that was pretty good.
It's very Spot is very Syndrome. Like,
Yeah.
look at me, I'm a thing. I can do a thing, and I'm you know, no one's paying attention, or no one's treating him like he's dangerous or anything. And then, oh shit, he's becoming the most dangerous thing ever to the freaking universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting. What you can do with portals, and yeah, very funny, good fights and interactions with Spot.
Yeah.
I do hate though, and this is from the other Spider-Man movies. I hate like Lizard, poor guy in the Amazing Spider-Man. Wasn't a bad guy, just got caught up in a situation, actually trying to save people and turned into a monster. Ends up dead.
Yeah.
Electro, same deal. Not a
Yeah.
bad guy.
No.
Ended up again dead. Yeah.
It's a canon event.
It's just unfortunate, and it's just one of those things that's like, bugs me. I like villains who are like really downright evil. They're doing what they're doing because they're either downright evil or like Thanos, they have a vision and they want to enact it. Like that for me is like a villain I can get behind because they have an idea. Magneto, they have an ideal and they're trying to make it a thing.
Magneto for the fucking win. Love Magneto.
Villains that just kind of fall into it because there's nothing else for them to do, or they're not innately evil. They're just like, oh, something's bad's happened to me, so I'm just gonna destroy the world because I can. I'm like, oh, you're a bad villain. I'm not behind you at all. So yeah, Spot's kind of like that. Oh, Miles Morales, you ruined my life. Because not on purpose, but something you did
You
trying to
hit me
save
with a bagel and that ruined my life.
something you did, trying to save the universe, whatever, ruined my life. In fact, fortunately, turned me into this weird thing. And instead of trying to take control of my power and become a hero like you, or do something good with it, I'm just gonna be evil and destroy your life. Specifically, going after Miles Morales to just destroy him.
I have a theory about that. Not about Spot's villain origin. I have a feeling, based on like a few of the pictures we see and some of the backstory and why he was even in the fucking building on the night that they went off, I reckon he was either in a relationship with or trying to get into a relationship with Doc Ock.
Yeah.
And basically all of this is spurned by his desire to be with the woman he's got a crush on.
Okay.
Which so accurately parallels Miles, who started all this bullshit because he wanted to be with Gwen, the girl he's got a crush on. And when that factoid comes to light, that's going to be what snaps Miles out of it and helps him realize that he needs to fix. Like, he's going to realize that he's basically doing the exact same thing that the villain he's trying to fight is doing. And that's going to help both of them realize that they need to stop being such fucking simps.
So back to Miguel.
Yes. Who did nothing wrong.
Well, because he's...
Except blow that first universe.
In his universe, did he travel to another universe? Like, in his universe, nothing super bad happened to him. Like, I'm assuming his uncle and whatever got killed, same as before. But, like, did he have another family? Like, a family himself that got lost or whatever? No, he just was alone and was a little bit unhappy. So thought, I know, I'll go to a universe where I've got a wife and a kid.
And then he ruined it.
Which is just weird. It's a little bit weird, right? Just being like, oh, I'm going to go to a universe with...
I think there is a chapter of that story that we've not yet been told.
So you think he probably did have a family that he lost, and that's why he goes to another universe to have them. Okay. So, okay, fine. What's with the injection thing? Is this because he is a vampire or weird thing of some kind, and he takes that to stop himself from going berserk, or what?
No, I've never been the hugest Spider fan. So I barely know Peter Parker. I do not know as much about Miguel O'Hara, but I think that he's not actually a vampire. Basically, I think he injected himself with like spider venom or some bullshit, and that's how he got his power. He doesn't get his powers in the same way that Peter / Miles did.
So he has to inject himself to keep being Spider-Man.
Possibly.
Well, that's just
Or
like
I think that injection we saw was that was essentially his kind of canon event. That was his origin story. I think he was trying to fix a disease he had or something, so he injected himself with some fucked up spider serum.
I thought he took that injection in the current timeline. You see him take it when he's like on his little floaty platform, or I'm sure you see him take it like in the film, and that's why I'm like, oh, it's like a thing he has to keep injecting himself with. What's that about? Because I didn't get the whole. I saw them like talking about like vampire Spider-Man, and then they mentioned it a couple times, and I'm like, that's him, but he's not like necessarily what you'd think of him. He's just another spider dude. What's the vampire thing about? Anyway, I don't know.
Yeah, I suspect there will be a little mini arc with some more Miguel backstory because there are some pretty big questions about that dude.
But yeah, like just leveling it out, he's not a bad guy. He's another person who happens to be in control of all the other spiders because he's the leader for some reason. And
he was the first.
He was first. And doing what they think is the right thing to do. And then Miles is doing what he thinks is right, or just he doesn't think that what Miguel is doing is right, so he's fighting against it. Massive fight through that bit is amazing.
So
fucking good. He's like, Miles, you can't get away. And then he's like, oh, really? Like, I've managed to lead every single Spider-Man away from HQ. Seems pretty good plan to me. And then Miguel's like, fuck.
He done bamboozled us. But I just love how there's all these different Spider-Verses, all these different kind of spider archetypes. And you just got fucking Ben Reilly, who's just there like, I'm so sad. I kept thinking it would stop being funny, but it was every time Ben showed up, it was funny. Loved it.
What about the Lego?
Lost. I was the only one that it wasn't a particularly full screening when I went to see it, which I was actually fine with because I thought I was going to be like fucking sandwiched between two randos and neither one showed up. So fuck yeah. But yeah, I was the only one just losing my shit at that in the cinema. That was so funny and no one else laughed. I was pissed.
It was great.
Lego Spider-Man is fucking hilarious. Why are you not laughing?
And that was animated by a kid who had animated himself. Like, when the trailer came out, he animated the entire trailer in Lego. And Sony were like, yeah, come and animate a scene for the movie.
Freaking awesome.
Literally, yeah. So they gave him a job animating that.
That's so cool. I didn't know that. That makes it way better.
You can find it online, the Lego trailer. Yeah. It's pretty sick.
Yeah. Also, I love how J. Jonah Jameson showed up in about 4 different versions all throughout the multiverse, but they were still all J.K. Simmons.
Yeah.
Because as a collective, we have just agreed that no one other than J.K. Simmons is allowed to play J. Jonah Jameson anymore.
I literally said that to my friend today. I said, it's
multiversal,
so great.
constant.
That guy cannot be recast. It's impossible. I was like, and we were like, yeah, who else? Literally, who else would you get? It's like, no, it can't be done. That's it. He is it. And then that's it.
Yeah.
No questions asked.
We also kind of need to address the potential red flag in the room.
Okay.
So while everything was away, Gwen was getting real close with Hobie. They were clearly fucking. And he's clearly about 30 and she's like 15.
I don't think they're clearly... No, there's nothing going on.
Then why was her toothbrush and t-shirt at his place?
Oh, that's true, but they're not like 15. Miles is getting ready to go for college, and I'm assuming that Gwen's the same age. They're like 18.
I swear, didn't they say she was like... I swear he says in the film that he's 15.
Why is he talking about colleges and shit?
Because he's a genius.
Oh, he is a genius, that's true.
He's at a freaking, not STEM, what's it called?
Is it a advanced school?
Advanced placements. Yeah, they're both super geniuses. I swear, like...
Maybe Hobie is like 15 as well.
Yeah. Also, if you get a chance, to the 2 people watching this, check out Bob Villain, Vylan, Bob Villain on YouTube. 100% chance that Daniel Kaluuya based his performance of Hobie on this guy. He's a British punk act.
Okay.
Like he's clearly a massive influence on their performances as Hobie, to the point that actually I had to just double check that it wasn't Bob doing the voice for him, because like, goddamn. But yeah, Hobie was a legend.
Yeah, I'll be looking forward to seeing it again because he was a great thing, but his vocals particularly very muddy. Couldn't hear a lot of what he was saying. It was like, and but the best thing, it's nice to see like some good British humor and things that they say, and everyone's like, "What did he just say?" I can't remember what it is he says. One of the things that he says, and they're all like, "Huh."
There's a lot of. I just love that it's just a Spider-Man that's just there and it's just like hilarious, like old school British anarchist. Just no fucks given.
Yeah, like you see him walking around when they get to their HQ, and he's just walking around picking up parts and stuff. And I'm like, oh, he's working on something for later. He's gonna help. He's clearly, because of his nature, he's not on board with this whole HQ filled with Spider-Man thing, like taking control of everything, popping in that universes. He's like, this is a bit shady. I'm not up with this. I don't fully agree that you should be part of this establishment, Miles, and that you want to be part of this establishment. Which is why he's helping Miles out, because he's basically, going against it all as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it makes a little bracelet. Oh, and then you get the shock horror moment. Obviously, you've gone to wrong universe, mate. You see it flash up on the screen when they assess his DNA, because the spider's DNA that's in him, the spider's whatever it is from.
Yeah, the Wayback Machine was reading the spider's DNA, not his.
So he goes, but you're like, oh yeah, he made it, but no.
Yeah.
And then the shock horror of his world, he's like, shit, this is how bad this world is because there's no Spider-Man.
Yeah.
There's no Spider-Man in this world.
Nope. Great reveal.
Yeah.
And the Prowler stuff.
Prowler.
So, speaking of, it was great seeing Donald Glover make a brief cameo as adult Prowler. I was quite.
Two
I like
of them.
that.
He popped up twice. Like,
I mean, like
the same
in live
thing,
action.
but yeah.
Yeah. That was good.
It was quite, yeah. So it'd be interesting to see whether Prowler Miles is gonna end up helping. You think not at all.
That'll be the kind of like the first act.
Just
escape will be Miles getting free, like trying to having to like essentially fight himself. That will help him kind of learn who he really is.
Yeah. Yeah, because all the other spiders are outside ready to help him.
But here's the question.
Okay.
Universe 42, would the spider, if it hadn't have jumped to 1610, would it have bitten Peter, or would it have bitten that Miles?
Interesting.
Yeah. Because we know there is no Spider-Man in Universe 42. But is that because the spider went to the wrong place? But does that mean that Peter Parker is just sad and dead in a corner somewhere?
Probably.
Or was he missing his spider bite and that's what killed him? Or what?
It's very interesting. I don't know, that New York is such a shithole without Spider-Man. Like, no other heroes in the world. Why don't any of the other heroes care about New York?
Because Spider-Man's got it. That's the reason he's considered the greatest Avenger of all time.
He's just, I don't know. It's just strange.
Like,
if a city was literally burning, and not one other person's like, we should go help that place out.
Yeah.
No, we'll just leave. No, New York's done. No, this is past the point. Just let the villains have it. It's fine.
Had a real kind of Gotham vibe going on. It was very much the fallen city.
It was extreme Gotham, yeah.
None more goth.
But yeah.
Spider-Man India was also a lot of fun. That whole section in
looked great.
or whatever it was called was fantastic.
Colors. I like the bracelet thing. Like it was all very cool.
I wanted a little more multiverse. I wanted to just like maybe one or two more universes. Like, it very much felt like it was here's the universe we're in. Spider-Man India, the Hub, 42, over.
Yeah.
And Lego. I could have done with one or two more. Maybe see a bit of where Hobie comes from, or I'd love to have seen a bit more of that kind of old school Leonardo da Vinci pencil sketch world that Vulture came
Oh
from.
yeah, that's pretty
I
sick.
bet that would have been great.
Not only that, but Gwen's world was totally different. The colors.
Hmm.
So it was like whatever emotions they're feeling like was making the colors of the background change. Like the hue of the world changed dependent on how she was feeling. Yeah, it was very like
That was a nice touch.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was cool.
Got to give a shout out to all the really great father figures in this film. And there were a lot of very strong paternal leads in this movie. Like Miles' dad, proper legend.
Yeah.
Peter B. Parker turned his shit around. Fucking even fucking Gwen's dad, who was being an absolute tool at the start, gonna arrest his own daughter. What a
That was
pig.
crazy.
Goes back at the end and he's like, yeah, I quit. Had to choose between being a good cop and a good dad. I chose to be a good dad. Fucking yeah, you did, boy. 2 thumbs all the way up. Good shit. Considering how often fathers in Marvel films are absolute dickheads. See Howard Stark. See fucking Odin. Thanos. Good to see some decent Marvel fathers.
Stand up fathers. Taking your spider babies out on missions. I'm
When
sure
she
they
pulls
won't.
the little hat down at the end. Ah, fucking Mayday Parker. What a legend.
Just like following a baby that can stick to ceilings and like trying to keep track and not lose. It's kind of reminding me of like in The Incredibles with Jack Jack. Oh my days! Imagine trying to look after that baby.
I was going to imagine the chaos they get up to together. Mayday and Jack Jack just
The ultimate crossover.
carnage. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
And
trying.
maybe afterwards, like, oh yeah, I made her a sort of web gun. I probably shouldn't have done that. And she's just, like thwipping around.
Yeah, I feel like because they didn't show us many actual verses, but they did obviously show us lots and lots of different Spider-Men
Yeah.
and women and things and creatures that were animated so differently that gives you the insight into what their world would look like.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hobie's was very cool. When he was like changing color and like every time he like had like a I'm trying to think of anything else that stood out. Oh, the pregnant one I didn't really get.
Yeah, we needed a lot more of her.
I just felt
Like,
like she was a very non-character.
yeah.
She didn't really add or bring anything to the table.
She bought a
She was
rad
just
motorcycle. That was about
yeah,
it.
she was just kind of there. And I
Yeah.
was like, why are
And she
you
seemed to
here?
be the only one that had kind of actual well, he was there was no whip there. She was just like webbing stuff and then moving around. Like she could make actual
She
webs,
can actually make web.
which would seem quite useful in a web gun world. So yeah, definitely need more of her.
uh, oh, and obviously the Spider-Man moment where they were all like, you. I just have to shout
Funny.
out Isaac. Oh my god,
Yeah.
what's his name?
Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac. Thank you. Brain freeze there. Yeah, so good. His voice, man, just it's just so good.
Yeah. Like, I completely forgot it was even him. Like he
Yeah,
just absorbed himself into that fucking role.
I was sitting there and it's bugging me the whole movie, and I was like, it's not Pedro Pascal, but it's a similar dude that I know I really like. And then it was like the credit came up, Oscar. I was like, oh my god, of course it is. Come on, Laura, put yourself together.
Boy,
Now the internet's exploding because like they're quite good friends, and it's like, oh, Pedro Pascal's got to do a voice of someone in the next movie. That'll be great.
for sure, for sure.
Yeah, they're both. stand-up dudes.
Yeah.
Oscar Isaac just putting himself everywhere. So he's Moon Knight, he's Apocalypse,
Yeah. Yep.
he's now a Spider-Man, and
Yep.
obviously he's in Star Wars. So he's just like
Yep.
Disney's got him everywhere now.
Yep. He is cashing those Disney paychecks. Do you reckon they get like a lunch deal? Like, all right, if we put you in 3 things, we'll pay you for 2 of them. All right.
Three for two, yeah.
Yeah. If you do 3 Star Wars films, we put you in 1 Marvel film for free.
We'll throw in a TV show as well.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I'll do that one. It looks fun.
That's the packet of crisps in this lunch deal. Although I still maintain that Moon Knight was kind of a disaster.
Oh my god, it was so bad.
He was great in it though. So
That's the thing. I hate it when they take something really great and then they make garbage scripts and garbage stories and just
Love
waste
and
them.
Thunder.
Like, oh my god,
Love and Thunder.
so bad.
Christian Bale was so good as Gore, and they fucking wasted him.
Like that gore bit at the end was like the best part of it. It's like, why didn't you just do more of that? And like Chris Hemsworth, I think in like an interview recently said, yeah, it was really silly, or he
It was
said
too
something,
silly.
yeah, too
Yeah.
silly. And it's like, well, you say something then. Like, you and Taika are tight. Just be like, can we just be
He's
like,
hedging his bets. He said before Ragnarok he wouldn't have come back to do more Thor if it stayed serious. He only came back to do silly
because it
Thor.
was silly?
Then he did Ragnarok and it was silly and funny and everyone liked it. So he's like, yeah, see, silly Thor, it's great, let's do it again. And then he fucked it up because the script was garbage. He's like, oh yeah, I should have done that. And no, you should have stopped that 2 films ago, but you kept doing it, you twat. You were fine to cash the checks when it was, when everyone was loving it, but now that it's backfired, suddenly you think it should have been different. No, fuck.
Chris Hemsworth definitely doesn't make things that he thinks are great. Like, he's now in just like garbage Netflix films, and that's what he does.
Yeah, apparently that's Extraction. Apparently it's quite good, but it just looks terrible, so I don't care.
My mum was like, I watched a film with Chris Hemsworth on Netflix, and there's a second one. So I watched the first one again, and then I watched the second one. I was like, oh my god, why are you watching those? Surely it's garbage. No,
I
they're
was gonna
quite
say, like,
good. I mean, what are they
just
about then? I was like, what are they about? And she actually could explain to me, well, someone gets kidnapped and they have to go in and extract them. I'm like, oh, got it. I didn't, I don't know what else there was, but yeah, they're not the kind of films I'm going to watch.
yeah,
Then he was in
just
that,
based on everything that you have told me your mother has said about everything she's watched, I know I can happily skip Extraction.
yeah, she's not, I just don't know how people watch the terrible films on Netflix and think they're good. I, I just can't. I
Oh
just
god.
can't.
Fucking speaking of terrible it's not on Netflix, it's on Disney Plus, but equally terrible, and I'm some reason I'm still watching it. What's this absolute garbage show called oh, fuck, what's it called? Something X. Island X or some bullshit. Paradise X, whatever. Who gives a shit? Angel
Okay.
X. It's a sort of murder mystery type thing, but not really. Basically, it's the chick from The 100 that then went on to be in Walking Dead. 3 names. Her, you know the one. When she's a kid, her and her family go to the Caribbean for a holiday.
Okay.
In that typical middle class American way, they go to like a resort where it's just all white people except serving staff. Her elder sister is there from her first year of college, and she's like, "Oh, you need to change." Complaining to the parents about how they're so rich and bougie and white, even though she is there as well, and it's being insufferable to everyone. But because it's the plot, and even though she's awful and a 5 or 10 on the best day, like everyone in the whole resort is in love with her. So naturally she gets murdered. And then it's split between when that happens and then now when her younger sister has grown up into the chick from The 100. And Alicia Debenham Carey, I want to say. And she's kind of still really traumatized from her sister being murdered, obviously. And it's kind of like she's moved to a new area and has run into one of the guys that she thinks did it because he's now driving a cab in New York somehow. And like she's trying to kind of trick him into admitting that he did it. And it's just it's so dumb because it's 8 episodes and there's maybe 4 episodes. There's just like it's so repetitive and everyone in it is so annoying. And the main lead, who's meant to be like this, unstoppable siren who's got the whole what's the fucking place? What's it called? Resort kind of
Mm.
wrapped around her finger, is just like a block of wood with a frowny face painted on it. There's no charisma at all. And it's like just everyone in this show except the guy that is accused of murdering is just so terrible. And like I want to stop watching, but I also I'm 90% sure I know what's going to happen because it's quite fucking obvious what's going to happen. But there's just that part of me that's like, what if it's not? And what if the ending's actually good? So I'm still watching, but it's like, oh my God, why am I wasting my time with this? And I think that's how all these terrible shows and movies do so well. Because like they're shit, but they're just good enough. People are like, well, I kind of want to see how it ends.
The only shit show that I absolutely loved, which is on Netflix, which Sean hates me because he's like, "Why are you watching this trash?" I just watched it. I don't know. I can't remember if I like saw a clip of it online from what episode of the season. But that looks quite interesting or funny. Or if I just watched the trailer on Netflix and ended up watching it, which was Jane the Virgin. Now,
Really?
yeah, and there were like however many seasons of this. Have you seen it? Is it?
No.
I just couldn't stop watching it, and then I waited for like the newest season. Oh, it's so good! Absolutely love it because it knows it's basically making a show about these like ridiculous dramas, like daytime TV dramas, and because it knows it, it's like you can kind of bear with it because it's doing it on purpose, you know?
Yeah, I mean that's. I think you get a little bit of leeway
Yeah,
if they're purposefully being kind of self-referential in their terribleness.
but it looked great. It was that the characters were all fun. It was fun. It was just a fun show, and it was murder mystery drama. Everything's happening. Just yeah, it just grabbed me, and I absolutely loved it. I'll probably
Fair
rewatch
enough.
that at some point.
Fair enough.
And then at the minute we're watching The Connors, because
Ew.
a new season just come out.
Okay.
My mum's like, "Oh, there's a new season of The Connors." I thought it'd been cancelled before they got to make this season.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're watching that, which is it's awful. I, I we're watching it because I don't know. I love Roseanne so much. I just grew up watching Roseanne, and it's just so good. But now it's just weird, and it's like it's just weird. And there are funny bits, but it's not across the board funny like Roseanne was. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Roseanne was like laugh out loud funny, and also you can kind of connect with it because of the level that it's on. But again, now I'm like, wow, this family's been going through so much hardship forever. Like, give them a break. They need a break. Can they just be happy? Can someone in this happy? Sorry, someone in this family just be happy for like 5 minutes. Um, because yeah, like terrible stuff happens, but I feel like in Roseanne, amongst all of the misery and the fact that they are like a lower class, like middle class family, struggling to provide and like having to work 4 jobs to pay their mortgage and stuff, they were a happy, or at least at times a happy family unit, and it was like I don't know, I don't know, and I
They
just
didn't have
feel
much
sorry
of
for
it at each
Dan
other.
because it's like Dan's worked his ass off his entire life to provide for this family. And you would have hoped that at least one of the kids would have, been successful and been able to pay for his retirement and make it so that he doesn't have to work anymore. Now he's like 70 or whatever. But yeah, no, it's just not happened. Poor Dan. Poor Dan.
Oh, Dan. At the end of the day, he's still married to Roseanne.
Well, no, because Roseanne died.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because they had to axe her. And then he has
They
a new
killed.
wife now. It's fine.
I figured he would be married to the other one, the one that well,
The
it was like
sister.
Roseanne's sister or something, the one
Yeah.
that was played by the chick that's in Big Bang as well.
Yeah, Laurie Metcalf, yeah.
Yeah, that's her fucking name.
Um, no. He's married to the lady that was the mum in Eight Simple Rules.
Oh, Katie Siegel.
Yeah.
She's in Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, she's very vibe. That's the vibe. She's like a rock chick in this. She's like a singer in a band. She also plays Hyde's mum in that 70s show. Although
And Leela
obviously,
in Futurama.
yes. That 90s show. I wonder when that's coming back.
Is it coming back?
It should be. It said it got renewed.
Oh, okay.
So I'll be looking forward to that unless they decide to change their mind. But she plays Hyde's mum, but she won't be making any reappearances because, well, she wasn't really in it anymore, and also Hyde's not in it, so that's that. I don't even think they mentioned Hyde at all in the show because I thought they was just gonna have like a throwaway comment, like he's in prison or something like that. But I don't think they mentioned him. The characters that were in it the most, I mean, Donna and Topher's his real name. What's his name in the show? Eric. Were in it a fair amount. I feel like they have a lower price tag. Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher were in it a little bit as well, but not as much because they have a little bit of a higher price tag now, I feel. Yeah. But yeah, no, I really did enjoy that. The second season will be much stronger as well because it's like found its feet. But yeah.
Speaking of shows that I thought were going to be cancelled, but actually aren't. Apparently, they have picked everything else at the CW was cancelled, but apparently they have picked up Superman and Lois for a 4th season.
Oh, okay.
3rd season isn't out in the UK yet, but I'll watch it as soon as it is. So they picked up for a 4th season, but clearly this is going to be the last one. They will pick up for a 4th season. By the way, you, and you're fired. Fuck off. You, and you can stay, but only as like maybe once every other episode. We're keeping the fucking Superman, his wife, and his kids, and Lex. Everyone else can fuck off. Like they've gutted the cast. It's insane. They fired like people that have been here since season 1. It's like pretty hardcore. I don't know how season 4 is going to look, but
everyone else is going to be an extra that they give a little bit of dialogue, but it's not actually in the script and they're not actually credited, so they don't have to pay them any extra. It'll just be, oh, you're just like a featured extra now and we'll give you an extra 20 quid and you'll love it because you're getting to say something on TV. But you're not in the credits and we don't have to pay you any more than that.
Pretty much,
Could you have any idea how much work it is just to get an actor on a show that's going to say like one line?
A lot.
It's a lot. They have to go through multiple auditions still. Like, and then obviously you got all the regular stuff like the fittings and going in and rehearsals, and it's insane. And that's just to like go on a show and say one line. Whereas if you're an extra, sometimes they'll just like throw you something to say whilst you're there. You've not had to go through any of that.
Way better.
And they don't have to, yeah. I mean, it's only happened to me once, but it was on the Nevers and we won't talk about that anymore.
I need to rewatch the first half. Oh, wait, I can't. I can see if I can spot you in your line.
My line, you can just about hear like one word under the muffledness of everything else that's happening in the scene. But it's there. It's official.
Yeah, you were part of the Nevers, for better or worse.
For better or worse. I'm just like, I've said a line on a major HBO TV show.
That can go on your CV.
It's in my CV. Under acting.
Scripted dramas. I've been in one, sort of.
And then I've still not seen I don't think I'll go see Little Mermaid. I'll wait till it's on Disney Plus to see the scene that I auditioned for but didn't get, to see what it looks like, just out of curiosity. Because that would have been to go and spend like a month on a Caribbean island.
Would have been worth it just for that.
All expensive paid, yeah.
Oh, fucking hell.
Literally
wouldn't even need to pay me. Just leave me on the island and give me all the food. I'll fucking make my money back.
Yeah. I haven't been in anything for like a year. The last thing I did was that Empire of Light movie.
I don't think I saw that.
It was alright. It was an alright movie. I can screenshot myself twice, very briefly. See that? Okay. That's me. The scene was so busy.
There's a bit of the set, and then you can just see your little hair popping up above the top of it. That's me, guys.
There's no hair. They shaved it all off.
Oh, Jesus.
We're all like skinheads. It's just like, that one. You see that one that looks exactly like every single other one? that's me. No, you can see it's me. You can see me well enough that it's me, but it's literally like a second and then another second. So unless you like play pause through it, you can't see it. But yeah, that
Frame advance. Oh, have you seen all the stuff about the Flash?
about how garbage it looks, or
Yeah.
yeah.
Everyone's complaining about how the CGI is terrible. And there's like, no, 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 no. That's intentional. That's an aesthetic. Nah, bitch, it's not. You just didn't pay your people enough. Your CGI looks garbage.
Yeah, I love the whole, no, we want it to look like that. It's the effect we were after. No, just admit that it looks like trash.
So yeah, all I know about that film, other than the CGI is garbage, is that there is a scene where the Flash puts a baby in a microwave.
Why for?
I don't know. I have literally no context for this. A friend of mine was like, dude, you have to see this. He said, this is an actual clip from the actual film. They made this, and it's just fucking Ezra Miller in their full Flash suit putting a baby in a microwave. Apparently, I
I've
think it's like a nightmare sequence or something.
That sounds right.
Yeah, but
Um,
it still happens.
I've not watched. I've seen the first Superman they made with Henry Cavill, and I've seen Wonder Woman, like Man of Steel. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I've not seen Batman versus Superman. I've not seen Wonder Woman 2. I've not seen either of the Aquaman films, and I did not watch the Justice League.
Either cut.
No, I
Okay,
have no time in my life for that.
fair play.
And then yeah, but I hate, and I wouldn't go to see the Flash movie, but they're blackmailing me into it because I want to see Michael Keaton as Batman again.
Apparently, he's in it quite a lot. So
It's basically a Michael Keaton Batman movie, or however, it's Michael Keaton, not directed by Tim Burton. So it's like, it's
yeah,
not really that Batman, is it?
no.
It just looks like him. But Michael Keaton back on the big screen, like.
Keaton can't be beaten.
So I feel like I'm
Whoa.
gonna have to see. I won't see it at cinema, but I will watch it when it's out and available. Just for
Probably. I
Michael
mean,
Keaton.
I saw Man of Steel, thought it was all right. Saw the director's cut or the ultimate cut, I think it's called, of Batman vs Superman. Thought it was all right. Saw Justice League, thought it was a fucking car crash. Saw Aquaman, thought it was shit. Saw Wonder Woman, thought it was shit. Gave up. Like you don't get to release like 4 garbage films in a row and then have me still tune in. Sorry.
Yeah, you gotta be like Marvel. You do a couple misses and then a hit,
Yeah.
and then you can have a
Yeah.
couple more misses and then a
Yeah.
hit. Like,
You got to make sure you got to just wait till people are just thinking fuck these guys, and then be like, oh wait, no, this one's actually a banger. Oh yeah, no, these guys are all shit. Oh, this is a tune. Oh, these are shit. Oh, they saved the world again.
so they've just
Just
had Guardians of the Galaxy 3,
which I missed,
which was
but I heard it
good.
was good. I heard it was good. Yeah,
So if the Marvels isn't that great, it'll, you've had a
yeah.
good one.
I'm really hoping that it is good though, just because Iman Vellani needs all the love.
I'm hoping it's good. People just hate Brie Larson. Like,
Yeah.
I don't. I don't understand why she has so much hate, but like people hate her. I think everyone
Apparently,
really
she
is.
said some dumb shit during promo for Captain Marvel, and that was where a lot of it started.
Yeah, I feel like everybody thinks she's above her station or quite stuck up or whatever, but I don't know.
Mm.
I follow her YouTube channel and she seems like a
She's got a
fine.
YouTube channel.
Yeah, she does like cooking and just like random things, and she's just she's just there. She's really cute. She just seems like a lovely person.
Have you seen Karen Fukuhara's YouTube channel? The lady from The Boys, Kimiko.
Oh, no, I haven't, but she's cool.
It sounds like her
Or a
and Brie
similar
have
thing.
very similar themes. Like there's one episode where she makes quite possibly the worst carbonara I've ever seen. It's not carbonara. I'm sorry, Karen. You seem like a wonderful person, but no, that shit was a hate crime. And then there's when she drinks margaritas with the chick that plays Starlight.
Right.
Like it's a fun channel, but it's clear where her talents are, and it's not with YouTube.
Yeah, Brie Larson's looks really good. I think she does it all herself. and it's just like just random stuff. She gets an air fryer, and she's like, "Let's see what we can air fry." And she's eating.
Saint X. That's what it was called. The terrible TV show.
What's it called?
Saint X. Like saint as in the word,
Oh,
like
Saint
holy, and then
X.
X.
So
Do not watch.
don't watch that. You've been told. You've heard it here. What not to watch?
The trailer looked all right, and the name was kind of cool, and the concept is good. But that's it. Everything else about it is terrible.
Everything's terrible. Switching it up, because I think Rob might be back. Final Fantasy 16 demo dropped.
Oh, yes.
Did you play that?
I don't have a PS5.
Oh.
I know. I'm a plebeian stuck on my stupid PS4.
It's out like soon. Like next
Yes.
week soon. Like this
Yeah.
Friday soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of, speaking of things that are out soon, fucking Secret Wars, whatever it's called.
Secret Invasion
drops tomorrow.
So we can talk about that. I will watch that, so we can talk about that on the next stream.
Yeah, but it feels like they've not hyped this up nearly enough.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say about Final Fantasy. I mean, I know I don't follow any Final Fantasy things online, but I haven't seen, like, any... Like, the internet knows I'm a nerd, right? My Facebook and everything else that throws ads at me. I thought I would have seen some kind of clip or trailer or thing for Final Fantasy 16, but literally, like, I'll get loads now because I'm talking about it.
Yeah.
And my phone is listening.
I've seen quite a few.
But, yeah, I don't know. And then it just feels like, oh, here's a game. But it looks great. I watched my brother play the demo, or at least some of the, because it's like an hour long. They give you like an hour of the game. Seems very interesting. It's like old knight style, England. Oh, and then he was telling me that the guy that does the voice of the main character, whose name is Clive. I'm like, Clive? That's not a main character name. Definitely not a main character name in a Final Fantasy game. Clive? Sorry if you call Clive, but it's just... Anyway, the person that does the voice for Clive apparently didn't know what he was auditioning for. Did a really poor audition, but then they like gave him something extra to just say and try. And then they called him and told him he got the job. Then they said it's for Final Fantasy, and he was like, "Oh my god, is this for like the remake, like the 7?"
Yeah.
So it's not gonna be called remake. The second part's called
Rebirth.
Rebirth. Or is this for 16? And they were like, it's for Final Fantasy 16. And then the dude lost his mind because he is like a huge, huge, huge fan. So it's nice to know when someone's involved who is a real fan of the thing. And for him, it happened purely by chance because he didn't even know he was auditioning for. But it's probably a good thing. I mean, he said he fluffed his audition anyway. But if you know you're auditioning for something that you absolutely 100% really want, then your nerve level goes from like regular high to crazy. So, but yeah, it's
to ruin the audition high. Yeah.
So yeah, that was kind of cool. But yeah, it seems really cool. There's like, and the people turn into
icons.
Yeah, so one of them, I think it is the Clive dude that turns into like Ifrit or whatever, and the other one turns into like this huge phoenix. It's just like very epic. It's very Knights of England, epic adventure looking. And I think like Rob said that obviously like the creators, because a lot of the most recent games they're all very like space agey, sci-fi. Like Final Fantasy 9 is like old knight, kind of medieval looking, and like the older stuff. But a lot of it is kind of more sci-fi based, especially like with 7 and stuff like that.
They love a bit of steampunk.
Yeah, it is very,
It's
isn't
fine.
it?
I love steampunk though, so it's okay.
It'll be cool to see this one, and I think that the combat is something I could handle, so I might actually play this.
Oh.
It looked all right. It looked like an easier version of Dark Souls. Hit, dodge, move around.
Wait, because isn't the guy that did the combat for this the same guy that did like Devil May Cry or something?
If it is, then I'll be happy because Devil May Cry is a kind of combat I can handle.
Yeah.
Yes. Rob says it is because he knows his stuff.
Like I was watching it and like I tried Stranger of Paradise and couldn't be getting on with that at all. So when I heard that 16 was going down a similar route, I was like, for fuck's sake, am I skipping this one? Because I skipped 15 because I look like shit. And everything I've seen since has proven me correct. So I was right, I was going to have to skip 16 as well. But then I was watching one of the trailers from, I think it was from Tokyo Game Show. And they're like, we tried to keep that difficulty quite balanced. But if you want, we've got a ring you can equip that like slows down time just before you dodge and puts a big button up saying, fucking push this now and you'll dodge. So they can really, I was like, okay, I might have to wear that just while I'm getting into the system. And there's another one, if you like, you put it on, you'll just dodge every dodgeable hit. But fucking hell, they're definitely not going for Strangers of Paradise. Yeah, but like, I'll give it a shot. Like, as a general rule, I don't get sort of the next step up console until there are 5 games I want or 1 game I need. At the moment, with Final Fantasy 16, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, Baldur's Gate 3, and you got Dragon Age Dreadwolf coming out as well. Like,
You won't
and
play.
fucking Spider-Man 2. Like,
Right, yeah.
these are all games that I really fucking want. So it might be time for me to up my game and buy a PS5. My only problem is I've got a PS5, but I also have a really, 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 really shit TV. So if I'm going to be getting like a fucking 4K Ultra HD PS5, I can't be watching it on my fucking 720p TV. So I have to get a new TV as well. And that's when it starts to get a bit expensive. And I'm not even sure I could. Like, all TVs, these like the smallest TV you can buy these days is like 40 inches, and I'm not sure if it can fit on my fucking TV stand.
No, you can get small tellies. They're all really thin now, though. We went to
I'm
like Curry's and was looking, and I was like, oh my god, we saw these massive TVs, and they're literally like this. They're so. I'm just walking around Curry's going, oh my god, what? How? I'm like, how can you make a TV so thin? This is crazy. Technology, insane.
fucking science.
Also, dangerous. I'm like, man, I wouldn't want to have to lift that and put that on the wall. Like our friend who got a TV and it's like
Yep.
smashed to shit when they opened it.
Our friend got was it 85-inch television, I believe it was.
Freaking massive, yeah.
That's not a television. That's a fucking wall.
It might as well
That's
just have a
cinema.
projector screen.
Yeah. I definitely wouldn't have room for an 85-inch TV here.
Yeah, like we could get one, but it would hurt our eyes for sure.
Yeah. Also that.
You know,
Yeah.
you just
Yeah.
like the distance we are from our TV, we got like a 50-inch or like a 49-inch, and it's perfect. Like from how far we sit away from it. I go to my mum's and she's got the same size, but her living room, she has it set up like more long ways, so it's further away, kind of on an angle. So it's not like when I go to hers, I'm like, Mum, you need a bigger TV, even though it's the same size as mine. It's further away. You need a bigger TV.
Yeah, the setup counts as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I did get a new TV, 100%. But yeah, all right, great. Here's TV. Here's an extra however much you fucking want. Send a professional round and set that bitch up because I am not doing that.
Like, especially if you want it on a wall, you got to like sort the mount out and then
I
attach the
don't
mount to
want it
the
on the wall.
telly. Then you got to get it on the wall. It's difficult. Yeah, ours is just on a
Okay,
unit, a shelf.
The wall might be the way to go, actually.
What else was I gonna say?
Yeah.
Oh, other game wise, I just bought Puzzle Bubble. Puzzle Bubble.
Woo! I've been replaying Mass Effect again because I'm just fucking addicted to that game.
This game, I just went in. I knew it was coming out because we went shopping a couple weeks ago, and I was like, oh look, a new puzzle. Sorry, it's Puzzle Bubble. In the 90s, this game was called Buster Move.
I remember that.
Yes, and I get so confused because it's called Buster Move, right? Well, you changed the name or something. It comes with a key ring because apparently nobody pre-ordered it.
That's a bit grim.
I was being served by one game employee who was rude as fuck, trying to get me to pay £3 a month to get the points reward plus, and it's like.
Yeah.
He's like, well, do you not buy games very often? And before I managed to answer, he was like, well, some people don't want free money. If you don't want free money, then don't get it. I'm like, fuck you. Give me my game. Honestly, some of the people that work in game are just absolute. It just makes you not want to go in there. But
Yep.
it's only when I happen to be shopping that I buy my game, because usually I'd just like download it on my Switch.
Yeah.
Happen to be in game, and then you give me a terrible experience. So,
The game near me actually closed down because the staff there were all such wankers.
but the guy, while he was serving me awfully, the guy next to him like leaned over and was like, "Oh, I don't mind if they're actually genuinely interested in the game and they're just having a conversation with you. Like, oh, that's the one with the key ringing. You're getting the special one there because only one person pre-ordered it. Basically, you're buying a game that nobody else wanted, which I'm fine with. Oh yeah, key ring. And then this bellend was like horrible to me. Just if I don't want to download your loyalty card, say no, and that's it. Don't
Yeah.
harass me about it.
Take the L, move on with your life.
Yeah, it's quite good. Oh man, the stress levels. I streamed it last night for an hour, and I was like, yeah, it's killing me a little bit. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna near the bottom, I'm gonna die, and then I just started shooting them everywhere, and I don't know. And there's one bubble that's like got paint, and it paints a section that color. So you need to know what your ball is next, and you want to paint it that color so that you've got that one to get rid of them.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just too much for my high anxiety bubble popping. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, anyway, other than that, it's a great game. But it's like a really small game, like animation wise, and what it's trying to do. Yeah, the menu like freezes and it like loads like this because it's like just can't handle it. The Switch is like, I don't know what to do. It's funny.
Switch, you are always terrible.
But yeah, I got excited because I thought this Baldur's Gate 3 was like, because I love Baldur's Gate, but it's Dark Alliance.
Yeah.
Dark Alliance and Dark Alliance and 2, the second one.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
this is not that.
No.
This is a completely different style of game.
Yes.
Mm,
Dark Alliance was the kind of the ARPG one with like Drist and shit in it, yeah?
it's just like
You just run
dungeon
around when
roaming
you
and
build and
hitting
stuff.
things, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no. Baldur's Gate, the OG version, is like turn-based. It's basically just D&D, but in a game.
Okay. I'll probably give it a look because, after actually having a go at D&D and enjoying it, yeah, maybe that would be a good thing for me to try. But
The
yeah,
story won't be as good because it's not written by me.
yeah, I
But
can't imagine anything to be as good as the story that Tigers made for our
but
D&D campaign.
oh, you just wait the next bit. Oh,
We're nearing the end game.
yeah, you are. Say no more. Yeah, but no, it does look pretty fucking sick though. And yeah, I was totally gonna pick it up, but then I found out it's PS5 only, so now I'm sad.
Yeah. I only like I'm quite lucky. Yeah, Sean's got a PS5, so if I ever want a PS5, I can just get that. We both got a Switch. He's got a PS5. My brother's got everything. He doesn't use his Switch, however, has been using it to play Zelda. But because it's hot, he's like worried because he's been reading stories online about the little vent at the top where I guess it's the radiator or the cooler or whatever, like cracks. And he's like, if this breaks while I'm playing this game and I have to get a new Switch and start this game again from scratch, or he's like, I just need this Switch to last for me to play this game, and then I basically throw it in the trash because he doesn't touch it. He does not touch his Switch at all. He's like, this is a garbage piece of technology. I love my Switch. I love it. I love my DS. That's dead now. I mean, my DS works, but I mean, DS as a console is dead.
Yeah.
Because we have the Switch. I love it. And I'm gonna be really sad when they come up with some new kind of console. And I have to not have still have my Switch, but buy another thing. Because I don't want to not.
Nintendo consoles are always like 20 quid at release anyway, so it shouldn't be too bad.
The new, did you say?
Yeah. Nintendo consoles, they're always dirt cheap, aren't they?
They are. I think I paid like I think it was like 200 and something when the Switch came out. My Switch OLED was like 300
Oh yeah, it's getting up there.
compared to like a PS5 is gonna set you back like 550.
Yeah.
and then they're going to charge you up to like 70 quid each game.
That's
These the
bullshit.
Switch games are like 50 quid, or little games like the one I just bought are like 30 quid.
That's why I buy everything. Fucking.
So
What
yeah,
still really annoys me is like, oh yeah, 50 quid from a new game straight off in your hand. What's how much is it digitally? Still 50 quid. Fucking why? You didn't have to make the CD. You didn't have to put it in a package. You didn't have to send it to a shop. They don't have to take their cut. Why the fuck is a digital game the same price as a physical game? Fuck you, money grubbing little bitches.
yeah. Rob said he just paid 70 for Final Fantasy 16.
It's not even a collector's edition either. It's bullshit.
Oh, what was it? The collector's edition.
The
Oh,
Diablo 4 collector's editions were all stupidly priced.
there was a thing that just came out, and he was getting annoyed about it because the collector's edition was just like a watch. It's a watch. Starfield.
Star failed.
Starfield. And the collector's edition, he's like, it's not even the game. You just get a watch. It's a
That's
watch.
not,
Why are they
yeah, that's
selling?
not a collector's edition. That's just a watch.
Why are they selling it as a special edition game instead of just selling? Just sell the watch.
Yeah.
Just say you're selling a special edition watch. Yeah, it's got the game, but it's still the same. Like, sorry, he's just saying it did have the game.
Oh,
But
okay.
most people don't want to buy a game and it comes with like some fancy ass watch. Just have the watch company make the watch and market it separately.
I was like this fucking close when Fallout 4 came out to buying the special edition that came with an actual Pip-Boy because it was an actual fucking Pip-Boy. That is rad as fuck. And you could put your iPhone in there, seal that bitch up. You had an app where as you were playing the game, your stats and menu would be on your fucking Pip-Boy. That shit right there is cool. I do not understand how it's now been like, what, 4 pandemics and 8 prime ministers, and no game has done that again. Like, why would you not do that? That's cool.
Because Rob got it. We got it out the box. We popped the phone in. We were like, oh, this is quite cool. But it was like, you never used it. You never actually used it in conjunction whilst playing the game. It just went back into the box. It's just there. It's a cool thing to have. It was really big and plasticky. Very, again, cool thing. Came in a cool box. But I doubt anyone actually properly used it.
I would have.
You would have.
I would have.
Special editions that let us down. The Dead Space that came with the plasma pistol thing, but it was like this big. It's very cute, but like it's not had. I don't know. I feel like he was just expecting a big size one, and it wasn't. It literally like fit in the game case almost. It was like it was not very big at all. It's like this big. Cool though. I guess the best ever thing is I didn't come with the game, but just as like game thing is the portal gun. My brother's got the one, just the regular one, which I think was like £300, but they only made like however many of them, and now people sell them up to like £1,000 because they're just collectible.
I remember back in day when I was like fucking deep into it, I used to buy all the collector's editions when Warcraft did expansions. Like I've got the first, I want to say 6 expansions for World of Warcraft. I've still got all the boxes again up on my wall. They always had some good shit in there. Like they always came with a mouse pad, which was good because the mouse pad would last about 2 years. So as the mouse pad was wearing out, you'd get your new expansion, you get your new mouse pad. Always came with cool in-game shit, art books, music CDs. That's the gold standard in my opinion.
Yeah, I just got my Dragon Ball Super superhero box set. So I saw the thing on the screen outside of HMV and was like, oh, it's out. Because I didn't know. So I went in there after work and I looked, saw the Blu-ray. So you can get the like Blu-ray steelbook for like £25. Anyway. But for £30, you get the box set. But it didn't say anywhere on the box what's in the box. What's in the box?
What's in the box? What's in the box?
Didn't say anywhere what's in the bloody box. So I had to go up to the counter and be like, is the steelbook in like part of this? What is in this box? And the guy pulled it up on his phone, where it's like work phone thing they have, like on the website, to show me what's in the box. The steelbook is not in there. the DVD and the Blu-ray's in there, but not the steelbook version, which is annoying because it totally would have fit. You could have put the steelbook in there. Just saying, like, you have it. Anyway, but it has a little cardboard cutout thing that you can stand up, some postcards, a poster, and yeah, the movie. It's fine. I have it now.
What's the little cardboard standee? What is it?
It's literally just basically what was on the poster, all the characters in their little
That's not bad.
thing. It's fine. It's tiny. I don't think I'll pop it out. I'll probably just keep it nice and pristine condition to never ever be sold or given away to anybody else. It shall go to the grave with me with all my other belongings. No one's gonna want them.
A Viking style pyre of all your nerd shit. Just send yourself off to Nerd Holler.
No one's gonna want to inherit this stuff because they're gonna have to try and sell it all, which it would be easy, but like, it's just a hassle to have to sell it all. Which is why I don't sell any of my stuff, and I like it all too much as well. I've got a couple statues that I'll probably part with, but again, it's just like till I actually officially run out of space, I'll just keep buying.
This is the way.
This is the way. Oh, they released a Trigun Stampede. Nice figure. It is like £180.
Oh, really? Oh, fuck that. Like, I'm interested. Oh, wait, no, I'm not.
Yeah, so I think I'm just going to wait probably until they release season 2 and hope that they release more.
What was the statue?
It's Vash.
Natch.
Which makes sense, right? Trying to see. I would have sent Robert a picture of it. And
it's either going to be Vash and his lady friend or Vash and his brother.
Oh, I totally didn't send him a picture of this.
Possibly Wolfwood.
Oh, I found it. Yeah.
Vash and Beryl?
It's just him standing in a cool pose. That's literally it. It's got like the little city behind him and that.
I mean, that's a pretty cool statue, but it ain't 180 quid's worth of statue.
It's cool. It's like this is on Deca Anime. It's like £200, but if you pre-order it, you get like money off, so you get it for like 185. But yeah, it's nice. It's just not. I think I'd prefer to just wait till season 2 comes out, a bit more popular, and they just release regular statues for like 30 quid, like all my other ones.
Yeah.
Because like all these statues that like even this one, this big Sakuna, it's like 30, 35 pounds.
That's the price that I would be willing to pay.
And those are my little ones. Even this hawk one that is absolutely insane. That is an older one, but I got it for like £18. All of these like probably like 18, £20. Which is crazy. And then I buy little mystery boxes like this that cost like 15 quid. That's the imbalance of. I'm like, I am paying more than £25 for a big figure. What's that? Mystery box, £15. You got me. Like.
It's the mystery that makes it valuable.
The mystery. Yeah, I got some little Studio Ghibli ones, and I got like one of the special ones that wasn't on the box.
Did we talk about the new Miyazaki film and how he's not advertising it?
Yeah, and we was like, that's badass. We love it. Yeah, I think we talked about that on the last one. Oh, Rob's been saying stuff, but I've been too in depth in my. Sean, sorry, commented. I think it's safe. We're out of space. Safe to say we're out of space. We're not out of space. There's loads of space in these shelves.
I'm just saying. Look at all that.
See all this space, and we can put more shelves. No. I want to get some little
room for another shelf there over your left shoulder. Just saying.
I want to get some little acrylic shelves type things to go on here, so I can have like 2 layers essentially. Because see, all this space is wasted.
Yeah.
And you can't put them in front of each other because then you can't see. So I need like a little shelf in the back that you can't see, just like clear acrylic. Then I can have 2 kind of levels of. That's the next stage, but acrylic shelves are expensive. Like
really?
on Amazon and stuff. You're looking at like. Well, say you look at eight quid or something for a shelf this big, but you need loads of them.
Yeah.
It builds up.
Yeah.
And it's like, we'll get to that point. I'll get them at some point probably. They should make a glowing plant model. Yes, that's a good idea for Trigun.
Yeah. For sure.
Like one of the ones where it's like the plant thing and him when he's touching it. So he'll have
Yes,
some glowy veins and the shit on him, and then that'll be.
that'd be awesome. 10 out of 10 would buy, unless it was like 180 quid, in which case, fuck you all. 10 out of 10 would buy for 10.
But um, yeah, there is a local nerdy shop that sells like old toys and whatever they get basically, and they have this like area with old figures. They have a Vash and they have like a Wolfwood, and they're in old damaged packages. I think the Vash has like a couple pieces missing. But since the new show came out, I was like, I need to go back there and just buy it. Like ask how much it is and just be like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna get it. I'm just gonna get it. And then make a diorama, like a cool stand for it out of foam and shit, paint it, and just make a cooler. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, I should just get it. I'm gonna go back and get it. And after 3 years, 5 years of this figure always being there, me looking at it intently for like 10 minutes and then not buying it, I'll probably go back and it won't be there.
Yeah. Or you'll go back there, and then because the show is now popular because of Stampede, it's going to be like 300 quid.
Yeah, that's a possibility. But we'll see. Once I get a free day and I go back and
Let the market decide the price. By which they mean, I'm going to double the fucking price.
double the price. Oh my god, have you seen the price of like GameCube games in CEX?
No.
GameCube games are like 95 quid. Some of them. 100 and odd quid. Yeah, literally.
What the fuck happened to CEX, man? It used to be like, there used to be, if you saw a game in there for over 30 quid, it was like a fucking, big deal. Everything used to be like 5, 10 quid. Now it's all like, I'm seeing games in there. Like, I swear, I saw secondhand PS5s in there for like above retail, for like 600 quid.
Mm.
That's insane. It's a second-hand PS5. Why are you selling it for 600 quid? Because the market decides. Fuck you. Fuck your market.
Yeah, I went in there and I had a little Guitar Hero thing for a DS, which I remember my friend had and I borrowed it for ages. 50p. Who
Yes.
accepted probably 8p or something that they gave them for that thing? Like,
Probably. I've gone in there a few times with like just a massive
massive
bag
power.
full of a bunch of shit. And like, there you go. And they're like, yeah, all of that. We'll give you a tenner for it. And I haven't actually checked the individual, but it's like, I remember when I first moved here, I had to sell a bunch of my shit because this place is like half the size of my last place.
Mm.
And I sold like easily 100 DVDs. Got a good amount for it, but I was looking at the receipt afterwards, and there was like 10, 20 DVDs that all sold for a penny.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't give a shit because I didn't want them, but like they were a penny. They were probably then stuck up there for 50p. But yeah,
That's crazy markup. Like, you give someone a penny and then you sell it for £1.
yeah.
That's insane.
CEX.
Yeah, some other stuff like tech they give you really good money for. Like they'll buy an old phone for £11 but only sell it for like 15. And you're like, that's okay. And laptops and things like that they give you pretty good prices for. But yeah, like, so I'm wondering how much they give for those old GameCube games and what a markup they're making up on that. Because but we just go in there and Rob just looks at it all and he's like, got it, got it, got it, got it. He could take his GameCube collection in there right now and easily make like a lot of
Fine.
money.
Like, yeah, we'll give you 5 quid for the lot, and you go the next day, and it's all up there for like £1,000.
Yeah, exactly. Crazy. But
Cheeky bastards.
you cheeky bastards. They give good prices for Switch games.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of Switch games they'll still give you like 25, 30 quid for. And they're going to sell them for like 35, 40. That's what I'm saying. Some of the stuff you get a good price for, then other stuff you get like literally pennies. But yeah, I've got loads of Switch games I keep meaning to trade in because I just don't play them anymore. And I just forget. And then by the time I go to trade them in, they'll be like, here's a penny. But yeah. Anyway, our tangent today led us to bad TV shows and
Good video.
I mean, games was good. And then we've gone on to TVs and secondhand prices.
Fucking CEX being criminals.
You can get some good stuff in there. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure a good half my Blu-ray these days. Like, if I ever buy a physical copy of a movie, it's from CEX.
To be fair, like as long as it's in alright condition, it might have been secondhand. Especially with a Switch game, it's like it's literally it's these tiny little things.
Saying I bought this fucking iPad from there like 6-7 years ago for about 200 quid, and it's soldering on. It's held together by gaffer tape, but that's because I fucked it up, not because of that. Like the tech there is generally pretty good. It's all came from CEX actually. So I had one that I got from fucking Game, and it broke after like 6 months. Picked one up from CEX. 5 fucking years later, it's still going.
There you go. I was gonna say, it's held together by gaffer tape, just like my life. No.
No, gaffer tape is the force. It has a light side, it has a dark side, and it holds the universe together.
Nice. That's a nice way to wrap up the stream, I think.
Yes.
But yeah, we'll be back in a couple of weeks with loads to talk about. I can't remember exactly what, but we mentioned loads that we're like, yes.
There's a lot of shit on the way.
There's good, yeah. Secret Invasion and whatever else is going to happen. Hopefully, I'll see Spider-Man again, and we can discuss what it's like on a second watch. And manga, JJK was a 2-week, and Hero, I think.
Yeah, and fucking One Piece is on a break for like a month because Oda has to have his eyes cut out or something.
But I'm sure
There'll be something. There's always something.
There's always stuff to talk about. But yeah, anyway.
Rant about CEX and more.
Goodbye, everyone.